towards the front on a consistent basis. It's honestly a pleasure to see. They start a small group, and they do things real well. They're Mike Skeen, a perennial front runner, Rafa Matos, and then all these young guns that are here too. You really can't. These are Cube 3 Architecture TA2 races. You can't count really anybody in the top 10 out.
No, you're looking at highlights from qualifying earlier today. Annunziata was at the top of the board when it was all said and done. No real surprise there.
And you could see some of the attitude of the cars, you know, the cars that were up higher and a little softer. They were preparing for a wet qualifying run. And when it dried up, they just don't have the speed that you have when you have that grippy dry weather setup. And then the jump on the uphill is just epic in these TA and TA2 cars.
Yeah, we'll have to get into that a little bit. Hopefully we'll get some great shots. Guys lifting the front wheels, cresting over the uphill. You know, these TA2 cars are pretty interesting looking racing machines. The whole concept is great, and it's a very, very competitive race car, as Andy Lally, the president of Trans Am, explained.
The Trans Am Series is all about high horsepower and a big focus on the cars. The TA2 Series is driver development. We get a huge car count, we get great battles on track, and with me right now is Tristan McKee. He's a Chevrolet development driver, and he's gonna help tell me and you guys about what we do to make these TA2 cars fast and how you go about winning races here.
So yeah, we really have to be perfect with everything. You know, the competition is super stiff around here. So we really have to have all our cambers, air pressures, and everything right with our Pirelli P0s. You know, they're great tires, super reliable, super consistent throughout the race. We also have to make sure our balance is correct throughout the race, aero balance, mechanical grip, stuff like that, because race pace is super important. Sometimes we have long races with long runs, and sometimes we have caution-filled races like Sebring.
So you're playing with shocks, springs, you're adjusting rear wings, so that, and your thought is, maybe this is going to be a short run race with a lot of yellow, so I've got to be able to fire off really good. Or, man, maybe this is a race every year that doesn't have a lot of yellow, so I've got to have my rear tires still hooked up at the end of this race so I can come through these guys, right?
Yep, exactly. We missed it a little bit at Sebring. You know, we were expecting some long runs, so we had a little bit of a long run setup, and we just missed it because there was a lot of caution.
And another one around the 61.
Our TA2 cars are over 500 horsepower, a little over 2,800 pounds. And so as a development driver and you're coming up through the ranks, being able to just rake, tow, Ackerman, all sorts of things on this is the full package. So I imagine you're working with engineers and learning as much as you can from them, right?
Yeah, I've learned a lot driving these cars. You know, I come from circle track world, so this is very different from what I'm used to. I'm really enjoying it.
So the difference from running the circle track cars to running the road course stuff, what has been your biggest thing that you've been learning with your driving style?
I've had to work on myself a lot because usually driver's fine, it's more of the car, so I've had to, you know, redo all of my braking techniques because it's all different for this style of racing. So I've learned a lot doing this, and I think it's helped me a lot in the oval world, so I think it's really cool.
Awesome. Well,
thank you.
Good to see you, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
You know, Adam, this Cube 3 Architecture TA2 car, when you talk to the different drivers that are competing in the series, some are thinking about moving up to Trans Am. Others, like Tristan, are already in driver development programs, fast-tracking into the NASCAR world. What is it about this car that makes it such a great developmental tool no matter which way you want to go?
It's, you know, the biggest thing is for me that I think, you know, and I think that's a great question, is it's a high horsepower car, but you have to drive it with momentum in mind. It doesn't have enough horsepower to pull you out of a mistake, where a TA car has so much power that, you know, when you make a mistake, because you have to keep that momentum rolling, and I think you know, keeping it a pure race car without any traction control, anti-lock braking systems, no paddles shifting, still in H pattern, it keeps a young driver especially, very engaged. And it makes them have to focus on a bunch of different areas rather than just driving the perfect line. So I think it really prepares these young drivers for all the challenges that come when they go to the next level.
Yeah. We're going to get a chance to see them in action here shortly from Lime Rock Park. Stay with us on Speed Sport 1.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
There's a great look from our drone high above Lime Rock Park. See, we've got a good crowd on hand here this weekend, Adam.
Yeah, it's always an awesome crowd here for the Memorial Day Classic. And, you know, there's not an empty parking spot. The camping isn't as full as usual because of the weather challenges that we noted early on in the broadcast. But the diehards are here, and they're having a great time celebrating this weekend. The heaviness that comes with the weekend of a Memorial Day weekend, and nobody here is taking it softly, and they're appreciating why we get this holiday.
So all those empty chairs will be full when we go green, but right now all those folks, I'm guessing, are down there in the middle of our fan walk checking out the race cars up close, and in the middle of all of that is our Ben Sissel.
Well, thank you very much, Ralph. I'm here under blue skies, but a wet track here in pit lane for the fan walk. I love coming to Lime Rock Park for the Memorial Day Classic. Some of the best fans that we're going to see all season. They rough the weather. They love the Trans Am Series. They follow it, so we love seeing that. And then I'm here with Gian Buffalmante from the Chicago area. And unbelievably, he got on his first podium just a few weeks ago, as far west as we could go at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Now you're here at Lime Rock Park, usually with the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 drivers. After that first podium, something clicks, and there's a confidence level. Are you coming into Lime Rock Park with some confidence, feeling really good about what's happening here, Gian?
Yeah, definitely coming into Lime Rock with a lot of confidence. We did really good at Laguna Seca. Car feels great. Nitro guys have got it tuned up really nice, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of the season.
Nice. I love it. Now, we pointed this out in qualifying, though, but he wants me to point out, make sure, look at all this real estate here for your company's logo. If you want to have some fun in motorsports, look at Gian Buffalmante, Sam Corey. There's a lot of drivers in this field that have some room and some real estate. Speaking of, his dad won the TA2 championship in 2016. It was a cool moment for me to see you down there in the crowd at Winner's Circle. How's this feeling for you?
It's great. Nita and I are very proud of him. I told him coming here, we're playing with house money. We didn't expect to be on the podium that quick. Rookie season, brand new to everything, brand new to all these tracks. So So look, onwards and upwards for the rest of the year.
Nice, I love it. Spoken from a true champion there, Tony Buffamonte. Then we come over here to Pro-Am. Barry Bowes, last year's Pro-Am champion, Osseo Data, Franklin Road. I think he was racing at Mid-Ohio last weekend, and now you're here with us at Lime Rock Park in some crazy conditions. Barry, green flag drops, what's the strategy?
We got to survive the first several turns, not lose any positions, and hopefully we can get some good, clean racing. We can all get in a line, make it through the first few laps. We need to get the track a little bit dried out because offline is going to be very dangerous. So I think we're all probably mostly going to be in line for the first few laps, but someone's going to find an opportunity, and they're going to take it, and we're going to hope it works.
Nice. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Good advice there from Barry Bowes. As I make my way over to our Grand Marshal, Andy Lawley, who would probably like that advice, because Barry Bowes said, hey, guys, let's just stay in a line and keep this race going. Look at you. Are you having fun here at the Memorial Day Classic?
Best time.
Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely. We love Lime Rock.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out. Let me interrupt real quick because we have our Grand Marshal here, also our president. Started racing here like 33 years ago, but Barry Bowes just told everybody, hey, let's all stay in a line through the first couple turns, try to dry out the track and then go racing. I think you probably would like that advice, wouldn't you, Andy?
I was trying to get through to these guys. I've done enough rain racing here. The dry line starts at like 2 inches wide and gradually just gets to where you can just put your loaded tires on it. And it's right about that point that you get the confidence that you're going to make the pass and come off that line and realize that it's all ice. So for the guys that haven't been here before, trying to get it ingrained in their brains that maybe for the first 15 minutes or so, we stay smart and try to stay on the dry stuff as this track gets drier and that groove widens, and then we get a really good, solid TA2 battle for the last half of this race.
I love it. See, good advice there, drivers, because we want to have a good race here, good show for some of the best fans in motorsports here at Lime Rock Park. Just really, really fun. And also, even when the weather isn't ideal, there's still a hill full of people. So we absolutely love coming here. And they've made a lot of improvements. Dickie Regal and his team have done a lot to Lime Rock Park since the last time we were here. And then speaking of somebody who knows a lot about Lime Rock Park, he's won here 3 times. One of the races, actually his first time here, he won the race. But one of the races was kind of like today where they're deciding to go to dries or wets. But this is Thomas Merrill here with HP Tuners, Franklin Road Apparel. I think you have the most wins at Lime Rock Park in this field right now. So what would you say to these drivers, and what are you not telling them?
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to tell you what I'm not telling them, but I'm just happy to be here. I always love coming to Lime Rock. It feels like home, even though when I won here in 2019, it was my first time racing here. So it's a great atmosphere, and we'll see what the weather does. This start could be pretty interesting, and gosh, I'm just hoping we all make it through turn 1 and we can have ourselves a good race here.
Merrill, you know I like my awkward questions. You seem to be starting further back than I'm used to. You're probably not happy with it. You feel like you've found something for the start of the race?
Yeah, absolutely. Qualifying was half wet. I think we didn't time it right. Our Franklin Road HP Tuners Camaro is faster than it looks, so we'll see if we can move forward here.
Good luck, Thomas Merrill. Then we come over here, so if you've been paying attention, Connor Mosak, who's always been like right there in the championship hunt with us in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 season, but he's back with us, and we love having that with us, running this Napa Night Vision Cube 3 Mission Foods Franklin Road Apparel car, because there's something cool coming to Lime Rock Park. Here, I have a Sharpie. Hold on now. You know, Connor, professional drivers, you got to bring a Sharpie. But he's going to be here running in the Craftsman Truck Series in just a few weeks, coming to Lime Rock Park. How cool is that going to be? So he's here to get some seat time, running with Team SLR again in the Napa Night Vision. You can keep signing, but you're here just for seat time, learn the new. I know you've run here with us before, but you're just kind of just trying to get used to it, to have a little bit of a competitive advantage when you're here in a few weeks. Is that what you're doing?
Well, I'm here to win today too, but I think we got our Napa Night Vision Camaro here is really fast. We just had some issues in qualifying that set us back, but I feel like we can drive forward in the race. We were able to do it last year. I think the last 3 races I ran here, I had to start in the back, so got some experience passing here, as tough as it is here. So, but yeah, like you said, the experience coming back for the truck race is going to be really valuable, and hopefully kind of keep that in mind throughout the race today, what the truck's going to like, what it's what I'm going to want in that. But yeah, today just have fun and hopefully go run up front.
I love it. So running the Napa Night Vision, the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation hat. So come over and check out Connor Mosack over here in this number 8 black Chevy Camaro. Then let's come over here, Rafa Matos. We talked to Thomas Merrill, who has the most TA2 wins here at Lime Rock, but now Rafa Matos with the most TA2 wins ever in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series with Waukegan Farms Quarter Horses Concord American Flagpole. But Rafa, I got to ask you, this seems further back than I'm used to seeing Rafa Matos start. Green flag drops, what's the strategy?
It's all good. I think the car is really fast. We're quickest one of the sessions yesterday, and we made some, bad adjustments for qualifying. The weather kind of played a little bit of a game on us, but I think we have a fast Concord American flagpole race car, and obviously we're defending the championship's lead here by 1 point only, but looking forward to have a smooth race, gain field positions at the start, and maybe challenge for the podium and hopefully a win.
Awesome. I love it. Rafa Matos, look for him to go through most winning driver in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. Come over here to Tristan McKee, who ran with us last year in the Speed Tour All-Star race with his partner Scott Speed, did really, really well. But now he's old enough to run in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series with Franklin Road, HendrickCars.com. Tristan, how's it feel to be our shortest track of the season with only one left-hander?
Yeah, it feels good. Hopefully the track can dry out a little bit. We have a lot of speed. I know that in the car. We've been fast all weekend, so hopefully we can gain some spots in the race and be up there on the front row.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So look for Tristan McKee in this white and yellow and black, number 28. Beautiful car with Gain Bridge. All right, so we got to come talk to the guy that probably came from the furthest, all the way from Australia, and you're kind of getting up there, man. This is really good. This is a very difficult track, so how's it feeling to be at Lime Rock Park?
No, it's really exciting. As you said, we're starting to get up there, so now we're starting top 8. Hopefully we can stay there for the rest of the race, but it's awesome. It's like a little go-kart track, so driven plenty of laps on the sim, and the jump, doing that jump for the first time was pretty cool. So, these conditions will be a little bit tricky starting on slicks on a semi-damp track, but yeah, hopefully we can get through turn 1 and run a safe, fast race.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Well, Eden, good luck out there with the Sydney Property Care. It's awesome to have him here, but you can hear the McLaren and the Aston Martin are on track, and they're doing some laps trying to dry the track, so it's great to have that. Hopefully it'll get dry here in a little bit. Now, Boris said Jr. racing this beautiful HendrickCars.com number 60 Toyota Camry. I know your dad has a ton of laps here in different conditions, but I was hearing you were having some visibility issues yesterday, but if worse comes to worse, you think you've got that figured out?
Yeah, we put in some new defrost stuff. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a problem today as it's, pretty sunny out, but yeah, I'm excited to race here. It's one of the tracks I like better, so should be good.
Nice. And the jump here, how do you describe the jump that you guys go over lap after lap?
I would say in qualifying it's more of an event, but in the race it's not too much. You just, the nose gets light and you have to be straight.
Nice. Now, Boris said, you've been here many times. You know how great this fan base is here, and they follow the Trans Am Series. What kind of advice are you giving to Boris Said Jr. before the race?
Well, I mean, the two things I always tell him is stay on the road, try to get to the checker, but more importantly, just have fun and drive it like you stole it. I mean, that's the whole thing. And he's pretty aggressive. He had his best finish here last year, so hopefully he can get this HendrickCars.com in the top 5, and that'd be a great day.
Nice. I love it. How about that? We've got some legends down here. Somebody's had a snow cone. Look at that. I love it. I love all the fans down here. It's so much fun to be at Lime Rock Park. Julian DaCosta doing really well with us recently in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. About to start here. He also has a lot of real estate here available for sponsors. How's it feel to be at Lime Rock Park?
First of all, I do want to say we do have a lot of real estate, so there's a lot of room there. But it feels great. I love this track. It's really fun. It's world-renowned. Everybody knows about this track, and I was really excited to come here. And we're here, and it's going well. I'm excited for this race. I think it should be fun. We figured some stuff out from qualifying. should be pretty good. I'm excited.
I love it. I love it. Jimmy, live on the scene, what kind of advice would you give to all the drivers in this field when the green flag drops? Because we need some good TA2 racing.
So if I was smart, I'd say use your heads, bros. You know, it's going to be a little slick for a couple laps, but I think we're going to be good after that. So just everybody, don't wreck on the first lap, and no fighting, please.
I love it. Good advice from Jimmy live on the scene right there. Sam Corey, same thing. Look at all this real estate as he's signing autographs available for sponsors. But we love seeing this. Then we go Noah Harmon over here with the Street Side Classics. Teammates with Rafa Matos this weekend. And Noah keeps signing autographs. We love that. Don't want to impede on that. Ooh, a green Sharpie. I like that. Nice job. You having fun here this weekend?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So, Noah, I don't think you've been to Lime Rock Park before in a race. Have you been here before?
No, this is my first time here in Lime Rock. It's been really fun so far. I've really enjoyed this racetrack, so just excited to get the race going.
Nice. How about these fans? Coolest fans I think we're going to see all season.
Yeah, this is awesome. Just this whole grid walk's been really cool. All these amazing people who came out to watch the race. The hill's been full all week, so even through the weather, I really appreciate everyone coming out to the race.
Well, you've got some people behind you wanting to sign autographs. Are you guys having fun this weekend?
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. I don't know if they know any other words, but they're having fun. So I like that. This is supposed to be fun. So we come over here. We're now at the front row. Ooh, I got to talk to this guy, though, because he's from so local. New York, New York, maybe the only race shop in New York, New York, is the Fast Auto Sports Shop. Adrian Loftovsky and Tom Sheheen, they may have a competition for who has the most laps here, but qualifying P3, that's really good for the number 3 car. You're super fast. I'm excited to see this, but this is kind of your home track, right?
Yeah, this is our home track, and I think we're going to do really well here. We'll look for a solid finish. We have a lot of friends and family here, so thank you for coming out. Really appreciate it. The CMI Ford Mustang, we felt a lot of speed during the first practice. Then it rained a little bit, but finally when it got dry, we could charge through speed there in qualifying. So starting P3 and looking for a solid finish today.
Nice. I love it. So look for this red and white CMIproduct.com car. Adrian, good luck out there. We're going to come down here, talk to Mike Skeen, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series champion from just a few years ago. He was also in that crazy race that was wets to dries to wets, but running up here P2, the green flag drops. Are you hoping everybody behaves behind you? What are you hoping to do here?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I mean, hopefully we can get a lot of green flag running, put on a good show here. Already we're getting the track drying up here from that shower during the grid, so I think we'll have a pretty decent track, and hopefully we can have a fun race and just have good, clean battles.
I love it. Good, clean battles. I like that. Mike Skeen, former champion. Then we come over here, P1, running really fast all season long. This number 90 Toyota Camry with Chipoys. Eat Clean Bro. Gurr Racing with Toyota. Thomas signing autographs here. We love seeing the fans. And Thomas, the black Camry out here, crazy conditions, but always a great crowd at Lime Rock. Are you having fun here?
Yeah, I'm having fun. It's always super fun to meet my fans and all the fans here at Lime Rock. Super excited. Like I said, it's going to be more stressful for the driver, for me in this instant, but it's going to be a good show. Mixed conditions, it's going to be good. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it. So we'll kind of come up here. I'm looking for Dickie Regal with Lime Rock Park. He's got this great team that's done so much work for Lime Rock Park. I was told he's up here. He's easy to spot usually, but he may be sprinting up here. Wait, there he is. All right, Dickie Regal. How about a hand, ladies and gentlemen, the president of Lime Rock Park. Come on, Lime Rock. We can get louder than that. Dickie Regal, you guys have done a lot of work in the off season, but you know, the weather didn't look great. But look at all these fans. You guys have the best fans in motorsports.
Well, I have to say it is all due to Trans Am coming here Memorial Day weekend, year after year after year. We are so proud to be the only track in the country that is a 5-year sanction holder with Trans Am. We believe in Trans Am. We love this group. We love these fans. You are so loyal. You come out and support Lime Rock Park, and you support this great series. So look at the blue sky you brought. Look at what's going on here.
Is it going to stay?
I think so. I'm a pretty optimistic person. I think we're looking at all blue skies all afternoon. What do you
I like that. I like that. We'd like to hear that. Come on, Lime Rock Park. Get loud. Dickie Regal. All the work that they're doing. And, Ralph, I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
Ben, you can tell Dickie's a true promoter the way he's betting on blue sky the rest of the day, right?
You bet. No,
and if he could sell just one more hot dog, he'd make a profit today too, right?
That's it. That's it. And I mean, he's a great man, and this track is in great hands with him and his partners, and just love his energy. He's so much fun to be around.
Well, and we love bringing Trans Am presented by Pirelli here to Lime Rock each and every year. Great to hear we got a long-term contract. Be here for years to come. Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series getting ready to roll off the grid. Don't miss it. Stay with us right here live on Speed Sport 1.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140-mile-an-hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, Lagarde, Miller, Lagarde.
And we are back to Lime Rock Park, Connecticut. What a beautiful sight, as it has been wet and rainy and cold all weekend, but now just gorgeous sunshine all over these beautiful green hills. And I don't know, Adam, who the guy is in charge of the lawn around here, but he's put in a lot of laps on the tractor, and it looks spectacular.
He earns his money, that's for sure, because the grounds here are always impeccable. And yeah, no, they exceed my expectations every time I come back here. They built the new condo garages are being finished up right now as you enter the track before you come over the bridge. So just a lot of really exciting things happening here at Lime Rock Park for everybody. So it's just great to see such a historic venue getting all the modern energy that it should deserve.
What a spectacular place to bring your family for the first time if you're getting them introduced to motorsports. Let the kids roll around on the hillside. Great viewing everywhere, spectacular amenities. Really a wonderful, wonderful racetrack. Well, a big part of our Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli and our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series is Make-A-Wish. There you see him on the side of Bob Accardo's number 39. Guthrie's garage car running the Make-A-Wish logos on there. And this weekend, the guest for Bob is Elijah, 12 years old, joining us here. Great to have Elijah here. Elijah suffers from a rare blood and bone marrow cancer, but he has a huge passion for basketball and exotic cars. And I think a TA2 car is pretty cool, and apparently Elijah does as well. He wanted to come see the racing, and Bob and the folks at Make-A-Wish have invited him out, and he is having a great time, and we are thrilled to have Elijah here. God bless you, Elijah. All the best going forward, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of my favorite things that's been for the 2025 season was Bob Accardo is doing with this Make-A-Wish Foundation, and he goes all out. He gets a helmet painted for each kid, and really makes sure that this weekend they feel as a genuine part of that race team. So hats off to that group going forward, and I know and we're all rooting for you, Elijah, because you're a special young man and you got a lot of fight in you.
Yeah, it's not like they just give him a couple of passes and say, there you go, see you later.
Right.
No, they really welcome them in, make them a part of the team. All right, the Winner's Circle program is something that Chris Dyson, our multi-time champion in the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, is a part of. And this brings in a whole group of kids from 6 different schools. They immerse them in a STEM program, and they get these Factory 5 cars, which are from the Northeast here, and the kids get put together in teams, and they build these cars. And then they come here to Lime Rock Park, bring the cars with them, and they get judged, and a winner was chosen here this weekend. There's Chris being a part of it with his buddy in it. I believe his buddy's name is Pius, is it?
Yes, yeah.
Pius,
yeah. Him and Pius have been friends since childhood, and this is a passion project for both of them. It's amazing to watch how they give back, and every year they just keep one up in the score. The cars this year were absolutely remarkable, so hats off to these kids, because you would never think that these were young boys and girls putting these Factory 5 cars together. Really, really awesome job to everybody.
That's Pius down there in the blue jacket, and they picked the winners here. And there was about 200 kids here, part of the program. And I was walking through the paddock yesterday, and Chris and Pius are coming the other way, and stopped to introduce me to Pius. And he said, we got these kids with us. Next thing you know, that group of kids just kept coming and coming. I must have been walking past kids for 10 minutes. So many of them.
No, it's a great program. And again, the energy from Chris Dyson and Pius and the whole group that spreads to those kids, and it gives these kids a lot of hope too going forward. Not everyone's built for academia, and and I think so often we get pushed into that path straight out of high school and then they wonder why college didn't take and why my major is not applicable to my real life, and it's because they lost that path right there. And I think there's so many people that are comfortable working with their hands and can get into the trades, and I know that for me, I was not an academic person, but give me something mechanical to work with, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a true joy and excitement of learning out of me at that point. So I know there's plenty of you out there, and I encourage parents and kids to be courageous enough to stick up for yourself. My wife was one of those. She stuck up to her parents, got into the trades, and did electrical work, and straight out of high school. So there's a lot of options out there. So I definitely appreciate that.
Well, we're going to go get down to Ben Sissel once again. Take it away, Ben.
All right, Lime Rock Park, let's hear you. The Memorial Day Classic. I just watched my friend, the Reverend Heidi Truax, get a lifetime hard card and a trophy, and now she's going to deliver the invocation. And I hope that you come back year after year and deliver these invocations, because you're so great at it. So, Heidi, take it away.
Let us pray. Dear God of all creation, on this Memorial Day weekend, we remember those men and women of the armed forces who have given their lives to keep our country safe. It's common this time of year to say, remember the fallen. But Lord God, are they fallen? Aren't they our heroes risen? They rose up to answer the call to service. They rose up to protect our country. They are risen heroes, and we remember them and give thanks for their lives. This weekend, here at the Memorial Day Trans Am Classic, we're all here with God's good grace. God bless the drivers and crews, and bless all those who are working to make this a great weekend for all of us. The racing teams have risen up to compete with God's blessing going before them, and we, the fans, rise up to cheer them on. Amen.
Wow. Yeah, come on now. Round of applause. Reverend Heidi Truax, thank you so much. She was talking about some of our heroes in Memorial Day, and we've got some heroes right here. The Connecticut State Police Honor Guard. How about that? And then you are going to be blessed with the voice of Katie Weiser to deliver the national anthem. If you'll please remove your hats. Katie, take the mics and take it away from me.
Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, well done, Katie. That was a nice job.
Yeah, beautiful invocation by the Reverend Heidi Truax, and wow, Katie Weiser just blows us away with her rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. It just sends chills every time, but a weekend like this, it adds another layer of beauty and love for the U.S. Armed Forces and our heroes.
Yep, the real heroes. Well, the folks will be exiting the grid now. The fans will be making their way up onto the hillsides, find their chairs, get ready for the racing. And we're going to have some racing here shortly. We had a chance to get our president of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, Andy Lally, behind the wheel to give us a tour of this 1.5 mile circuit known as Lime Rock Park.
Even just entering onto the track from pit lane at Lime Rock Park is tricky. You're entering directly parallel with the brake zone of the line coming into Big Bend. Very usable curbing in Big Bend, turn 1 and 2 here. You can really get about 2-3 feet up the curbing and run a pretty crazy looking arc. You know, looking down at Lime Rock Park, it looks like a constant radius corner, but when you're in the middle of it, definitely not. You're slipping and sliding over some very usable apex curbing, but trying to get the power to get a quick shot out to our left-hander here. Very unusual lines, different opinions of what's fast in this left-hander. I'm a dive it in super early, find the bottom, bring huge entry speed, try to float the middle a little bit, get a little bit of rotation, and then get my shot out so that I'm all the way on the left-hand side and I can try to get on really without even coming out of the gas all the way. I'm trying to come onto here flat. Most of the time in a TA or a TA2 car, there's just got to be a slight little trail throttle to kind of unlock a little bit of rear grip as we come on to Paul Newman Straight that we just passed. And we launch out onto the back straightaway here, coming up to one of the coolest corners on the planet, the uphill at Lime Rock, where in a TA car at 900 horsepower, you're pulling a 150-foot wheelie. Right before you crest this hill, you want to straighten those hands out and be able to have the weight equal from right to left so that you don't pull the car too much one way or the other as you crest that hill. Into West Bend, one of the fastest 90-degree corners out there, and one of the most challenging where you have to be super specific. Can't really bump that curb, and there's not a lot of exit curb to use. Grab third to fourth gear as you're coming down the hill here. You're set up really wide and plunge down 4 or 5 stories down here. Just as the car gets to full load, you've turned in, you catch a dip at the apex, and it's going to spring you out. So you kind of, for you, your trajectory is shooting like kind of 3 foot inside of what the edge of the track is, and you're going to run that all the way out as you kind of float across that apex to that outside line there, which is the most important corner on the track, because that's your run onto the front straight, which is the longest straight, which is the deepest braking zone, and your best place to pass around Lime Rock Park.
Okay, Adam, so you see what Andy thinks and his driving tips. Give me one tip you would have about going fast here at Lime Rock.
I attack the uphill. By attacking the uphill, I think you're doing something that maybe 70% of the drivers that go around here don't want to do. So really focusing on learning how to get the attack done and not let it be intimidating would be my advice to someone here.
Okay. Well, time to fire up some engines. Let's go down trackside to Ben once again.
Owner of Cube 3 Architecture and the Cube 3 TA2 Series, but also, Nick, you're from New England. You sound like you're from Old England, but who do you have here?
Well, I have my Make-A-Wish friend, Elijah, here, who's going to help me with start the engines today. He's a huge race fan. He got to go around in the pace car today, and I think over 130 miles an hour, which don't tell your mum about. So I think that was an awesome trip. So congratulations on that. But you've had a great day so far, and we're going to give the biggest command in racing in a minute.
How you feeling, Elijah? Are you having fun here?
I'm having the most fun I've ever had in my life, and I'm just so happy to be here today. I'm so grateful. Can't be more thankful enough for the people that have welcomed me here and invited me here, and I'm just ready to come back.
Are you ready to deliver the most famous words in motorsports? Let's give it up for Elijah and Nick. Take it away, gentlemen.
Ready.
Drivers,
start your engines!
All right, Elijah, way to go. That was outstanding.
130 miles an hour in the pace cars, not nothing to slouch at.
No.
So got a heck of a good ride.
Fantastic. Well, the engines have come to life with our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. When we come back from this quick break, we'll be ready to go racing here at Lime Rock Park. It's all part of the Memorial Weekend Classic. Stay with us on Speed Sport 1.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Welcome back to Lime Rock Park, high above the Sam Posey straightaway, which takes you all the way down to Big Bend. Adam, how deep into Big Bend can you go into braking?
Yeah, I mean, you brake pretty late in these cars, right around the 3.5 to 400 meter mark there, or foot mark, is about where you're at, because you trail on the brakes into this, inside curbing. As Andy was saying, it's a friendly curve to get up on and to use that part of the racetrack, which only allows you more racetrack on the exit to really nail get a good target for the apex of the end of Big Bend and be able to shoot off to Summit Racing 3 and 4.
Well, this is round. With Cruz. Easy to dip wheels off here, going through the S's. And this battle here just continued all day with Gonzalez and Annunziata. Checkered flag at the end. Thomas Annunziata was 2 for 2. Then after a bit of a break, it was heading out west to Sonoma, and then on to Laguna and here. And we're set to go green. We're racing at Lime Rock towards Big Bend.
Yeah, good start there by Annunziata. Mike Skeen going to hang it up on the outside, try and have the line getting into Summit Racing 3 and 4, but tucks in behind. Smart move. Adrian Vlastowski clicks in there in third, and Rafa Matos fighting there for the fourth position.
Now, do you have to be single file when you hit the uphill, or can you do it side by side?
You can definitely do it side by side.
Well, we're about to see that right here.
Yeah, you're about to watch DaCosta
and you see Vostovsky got pretty loose coming up over the uphill.
Everything's cold. Tires don't have a lot of temperature. Air pressure's not where they're supposed to be, so it's going to be a little squiggly up there on the uphill.
Down here as well, getting onto the Sam Posey straight.
I tell you, this looks real good right away. They're single file.
One off in the dirt.
Is that Merrill? I believe
bouncing
that might
their way
be,
through. Is that Prochuk?
I believe that might be Merrill. I think
Merrill?
that was Thomas Merrill. Yeah, where that was up in the. Yep, that's Thomas. Well, that's gonna put a damper on their day at Mike Cope Racing, and I know that's not the way Thomas wanted his day here at Lime Rock Park to start.
Yeah, they'd had some challenges this weekend. See the 28 machine rolling along.
Tristan McKee. Got a little bit of dirt on the front from the off-course excursion of the 26 car of Thomas Merrill. Yeah, they're nice and squiggly coming up the uphill here. Yeah, he's got a lot of damage. That's going to be tough to drive. And this place is tough to pass, too. As you can see, you could be 3 seconds a lap faster than the car in front of you. There's not just a lot of opportunity until you get to turn 1 here, Cube 3, Big Bend. That's when you really, like Zandy said, have a hard braking zone and you can dive bomb in on somebody. But everywhere else is pretty high flow, so it's hard to get that run, that real positive run without taking too much risk.
Through the left-hander and the right-hander.
Yeah, down Paul Newman straight away. This was no name straight for the longest time, and only fitting that Paul Newman, of all people, should have that straightaway named after.
Just had to have the right name, right?
That's exactly right.
Good look back towards the uphill. You can see some of the cars cutting that front end loose, light, and up into the air. Those drivers having to dance with it as they come over the crest. Is there a spot as you're heading towards the uphill that you're aiming for? Because you can't see the other side of it. It's blind. Do you aim for a particular tree or a
Yeah, I mean,
pole?
it's honestly, you as crazy as it sounds, Ralph, you aim for the wall. And yeah, you aim for the wall, and the compression catches you right at the right time. And then you just have to time what you're doing with the throttle, because you can't stay late on the throttle. You'll just buzz the rear tires and cause yourself a heck of a headache. And then you have to make sure that your foot, with all the power that TA car has, and even these Q3 Architecture TA2 cars, that your foot's not next to the gas pedal that gives it the rap at the wrong time when you land. So it's definitely an added trick to this course, and gives this course so much character between the uphill and the downhill, two very high commitment, high consequence turns if you get them wrong. And we got a shot for the lead right there. Mike Sheheen is looking very racy at the front of this field. He's shown a lot of speed all weekend long, so it doesn't surprise me that he's given Thomas Annunziata all he can handle right now.
So we're going to take a whole lap here with Adrian Vostovsky as we come through the left-hander and the right-hander. Now headed up over the Paul Newman straight towards that uphill.
Might lose coverage right over there in connection because they're so buried in the valley, so that might have been why we lost the in-car. And when you come up the uphill, when it launches, it feels a lot like an airplane taking off, you know, where the front just kind of lifts, and then you abort the takeoff and bring it right back down. It's a good look at coming down the downhill, the commitment it takes. The bump that Andy was talking about that throws you over about a car width, it's very pronounced in this in-car shot that we have with Adrian Vostowski. All his sponsors are here this weekend. He was 5th in qualifying this morning, and he comes in, they bleed the tires down, and he goes out for another lap, and the crew was begging him not to, and he goes, I have to, because he bet his sponsor $500 that he would qualify in the top 3. So he put the pressure on himself, stuck that thing in the top 3, gave his race team an extra $500 to go racing. So hats off to Adrian, always doing fun stuff like that in this paddock.
That's cool. Good story. Vostovsky right now sitting in 3rd, still behind Annunziata and Skeen.
Yeah,
DaCosta and Harmon, your top 5.
Yeah, and Julian DaCosta's got himself a great start here. And I don't know what happened to Rafa Matos, if that was part of the 26 car and when all that happened, because I know they were close and around each other. So until I got a better look at that, I wouldn't know exactly what happened. But Annunziata and Skeen and Wasowski are definitely showing the class of the field. Their lap times are strong. This is going to be a very good race here.
Here they come over the uphill.
Yeah, it seems to catch Thomas out here more than anyone else. He gets a little bit more squiggles, which tells me that he's maybe a little bit more aggressive on the throttle when it's light on the rear. So over the course of 100 miles, you really have to watch that so you don't burn the rear tires up.
That'll be the race distance here today, 100 miles on the 1.5-mile circuit known as Lime Rock Park.
Yeah, that's Adrian inside that CMI Spot On Services Ford Mustang. Doing a great job, hanging out, just waiting for these two to go racing in front of him.
Don't you feel the way Adrian's been running this year that he's right on the cusp of just busting through?
He is, and like I said, when I speak to Adrian Vlastowski's momentum, it's not about 2025 momentum. This has been building for a few seasons. And he's one of the cleanest racers I've ever raced against there. We've had so many side-by-side battles. Two that point out to me are Nashville at the street course, where you just don't run side-by-side in big full-body cars around that narrow street course, and we did. And we never traded paint once. And then last year at COTA, we went side-by-side through turn 5 of the S's, so, and never touched each other. Great respect, great racing, so. Happy to see his success. It's definitely well earned.
As you watch him in the development of Adrian, what's the one thing you think that he's needed to work on and maybe he's smoothed out now?
I honestly, he needs to just be a little bit more aggressive, especially on restarts. Restarts have seemed to be his kryptonite. He seems to lose more than gain. And that's really, as a driver, where you should be licking your chops, that this is the point that you want to attack because it's your best opportunity for attack. So I've talked to him a lot about that, but that's really the biggest chink in his armor. Other than that, he's very on track, very on course, very focused, and runs very good, consistent laps. And this is arguably one of his home tracks, so this is a place he's very comfortable with and has run here since he ever turned a Q3 Architecture TA2 car. I believe we're looking at Barry Bowes there, and Barry Bowes might be our PA, our Pro-Am. Yes, he is. He's our Pro-Am leader right now, with Jared Audrek running in P2 and Keith Prochuk running P3 in that Pro-Am. The race within a race, if you will. So great shot at Barry Bowes. Looking at Will Robinson, hanging the back end of that 51 car out just in front of him, and that's a battle for 13th position.
Yep. Bowes, as you said, leader in his class. Robinson running 13th overall. They had the uphill.
Yeah,
a little contact getting into Big Ben here is a fight for the lead.
Look at this.
Annunziata on the inside. Skeen giving chase in the orange, white, and blue 2.
So yeah, I mean, that you got to be careful doing that this early for many reasons. Obviously, you don't want to change any of your aero, but this is a long fight, and you don't want to start throwing the gloves off just yet. I mean, if Mike is faster at this point, learn from him. See what he's got, see what he can show you, and but who knows? I don't know if Thomas had a mistake on the downhill that brought Mike right to him, but it seems like he's been able to open up the gap since he protected his position at the front here. Let's get a relook at this.
Yeah, here they come down the San Posi straightaway. You see Annunziata moved over to protect the inside, and Skeen just kept coming, didn't he? He closed up in a hurry.
Yeah, that was some of that deep braking we talk about, and good racing there. I would say everyone gave each other room. They traded the paint, and nobody was worse for wear, but you never know whose feelings might have got hurt in that and how the retaliation comes back at you, Ralph.
Thing is, you really have to wait a whole lap to retaliate, because about the only place you can do it here is back at Big Bend under braking.
Exactly. Unless you make a real mess of the uphill, you can get a run on somebody into West Bend. I like to make that move personally if you can really catch that run on them properly. But yeah, your best bet is to focus on exit of here on the downhill and get that run down the front straightaway into Cube 3 Big Bend.
How different is the exit of the downhill compared to the exit of the final corner at Road Atlanta? Because they're very similar. Down a very steep hill, a lot of speed, headed right to the wall, short runoff.
They are very similar. They have very similar feel and how the car compresses. I would say you have a little bit more room on the exit here at Lime Rock if things go wrong, but the same consequences are at both places. If you have a bunch of wheel turned in, you drop on the exit.
Like these two.
The 27 of Bowes and the 51 of
Robinson
Will Robinson
and
into
Bowes.
each other.
Bowes in the 27 was leading in category in Pro-Am. Look at the damage to Robinson's car. Right front pretty much tore up. Hence the smoke.
Yeah, that's not going to be good. That's very similar to what Merrill had as far as front damage. So not good luck for the Cope Racing team right now. And spoke with Mike Cope before the race, and it almost like he had a little prophecy of how this was going to feel. It looks like Caleb Bacon
from behind.
Yeah,
the 18 got him loosened up and got him into Bowes, and the 18
is Caleb Bacon. Looks like he got a little bit too aggressive and got into these two. These two were just innocent victims of what had happened there. So I hate it for both their races, because it definitely put a twist in it, but that's going to put Jared Audrich probably into the lead for the Pro-Am, and that should put Keith Prochuk into P2 for Pro-Am. And then round out the podium for Pro-Am is Cale Phillips in the 99 car for Mincy's Graphics. So hopefully this all settles down and they can get back to racing. Barry didn't really seem to have any damage and has shown a lot of speed this weekend, so his race could be just fine if he just keeps his head down and keeps focus forward.
You know, this is the driest racetrack these guys have had in a long time, since Road Atlanta, really.
That's right. I mean,
so they're feeling a little racy, I would think.
Yeah, and I mean, and as you know, we haven't had a lot of green flag laps in the 2025 season. So to see that these drivers of the Q3 TA2 Architecture Series have gotten themselves into a good single file and gotten themselves into a good rhythm, other than a little bit of you know, an overdriving move by the 18 car that we saw there into turn 1. This has been a very good, clean race, and I think this is what the management of Trans Am has been looking for out of these Q3 Architecture TA2 drivers all season long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see guys get a little aggressive here as this day wears on, as they get into running on this dry racetrack and feeling the race car working the way they want and getting a fight for position. You're going to go a little bit further than you would have in the wet at Laguna.
And we click off laps quick here. We're already 15 laps into this 68-lap race. So I mean, yeah, I think we're seeing some patience here for once. Looks like Barry's getting back up underneath the 99, trying for that last podium spot.
That's Phillips.
TA2 Pro-Am, yeah, Phillips.
Phillips in the 99.
Back up here front with the podium overall, you got Thomas Annunziata that's got himself a little bit of a gap. It seems to be an equal gap between first, second, third of Mike Skeen and Adrian Flostowski here.
Well, this is where we'll see that veteran experience here in Lime Rock come to the front for Skeen.
And Skeen's here for the long game, I can guarantee you. He's comfortable running this pace right here. He's not burning anything up. That's why I'm pretty sure like there had to have been something opportunistic that had to happen for him with Annunziata when he had that run down the San Posey straight into Q3 Big Bend. I'm thinking that there was something that happened here on the downhill. I know last year I dropped a wheel, an outside wheel, the left rear on the downhill, and I gave the lead away. Will Robinson's finally called no joy and pulled off the exit route there for Q3 Big Bend. And Guthrie's Garage well represented in P2 in the number 2 car by Mike Skeen. But back to my point with him, he's a very savvy racer, Mike is, and you just got to give him a sniff with about 10 miles left of this race, and it's gonna be game on.
Yeah. That's going to be fun to watch. Now, I have noticed, too, that when these guys hit to the uphill, not only the front wheels coming up, but there's a lot of four-wheel drifting going on over the crest of the uphill.
Yeah, you're still making the turn as you hit the uphill. That's why it's so important to really be off throttle and to let the thing settle down and then get really aggressive with the throttle to maximize the speed that you could get here into West Bend. I'm really interested in Rafa Matos too. The points leader is back there in 10th.
Robinson's car would be potentially an impact zone.
Yeah, this is going to be giving us a full course yellow possibly, because I don't think that's a very favorable spot for him to be in. And that's a good race here between Mosak and Boris Said Jr. A little shout out to Evan Slater, who got in this 8 car, shook it down, made sure that there was a great race car for Mosak to drive. That's Rafa Matos.
I was going to say, that's Matos, isn't it?
Right there with some sort of a mechanical that's got him dead in the water. Broken axle or something is the only thing I can assume.
And we got a full course caution as Mosak gets around.
Not sure. I think he's going to give that spot right back because
he's going to give it back
out
here.
But interesting there that Rafa is dead in the water.
Silver Hair Racing entry.
Then there's Will Robinson taking his crippled. He's got a right front down. I think it finally rubbed a hole up in that right front. So it looked like he had a right front down. So he's going to lift that thing home. And then Rafa obviously has no power. Either he's lost all drive, or I don't think an engine blew on those on that thing. These things are so reliable when it comes to the powertrain. I'd be very shocked about that. So it'll be interesting to hear. I'm sure we'll get a report along one of our message services here on exactly what happened to Rafa.
And Robinson will be limping his way to pit lane, the exit of the downhill.
And that's a new pit lane entrance here, getting ready for the NASCAR event coming. The trucks that are coming, which Thomas Annunziata is going to be driving a top liner truck.
There you go. Yeah, they extended it some 300 feet. Get ready for that. Changed all the Armco around here. They've done a lot of work. And we're going to take a little break here, step aside, do some work of our own, and we'll be right back with more when they're ready to go green.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, Speedcom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140-mile-an-hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series in action here, live on Speed Sport 1 from Lime Rock Park, Connecticut. You see Rafa Matos' machine getting ready to get pulled back around to the pit area, and the McLaren pace car is out in front of the field as Thomas Annunziata has led every lap. Mike Sheheen right on his tail, and Adrian Vostovsky holding down third. Those three have stayed the same ever since we went green originally.
Yeah, and I tell you, a little bit of added deal here is with Annunziata leading, he finishes this thing. He finishes this thing anywhere on the podium. He leaves here with the point lead with Rafa Matos' problems here. So it does a heck of a mix-up in points. Tristan McKee, he's got to keep a good, smart race underneath him, and he could leave here even second in points. So some really interesting championship outlooks that are unfolding here too by having the 57 Chevy Camaro from Silverhair out of this race now.
It looks like Tristan's running back in what, 9th?
Tristan is actually, 9th. Yeah, P9, yeah.
Right there in the yellow and black car?
Yes, sir. And then Noah Harmon is in P5 right now. He's the one flying the flag for Silverhair.
The lights out on the McLaren pace car.
We know what that means. It's go time. We'll see how this restart happens. Mike Sheheen's very, very savvy, and Annunziata, we'll see what kind of tricks he's got up his sleeve for this restart.
See what Sheheen can pull off here in Thomas. Coming down onto the Sam Posey straight. Sheheen right behind Annunziata. So close you can almost not see him back there.
That's the whole idea. And the leader starts this race. Once he wiggles, the green flag comes out.
Down into West Bend, and it's really Adrian who's getting all the pressure. One car, the 8 car off here. That's Mosak.
Yeah, Connor just had a mess down there in turn 1. I don't know if he had any help, but
he just seemed to get offline and into that grass, and I'm sure that grass is awful wet, and he just couldn't get it to come back around.
Yeah, you'd have no chance if you hit that grass out there. You're gonna be sucked into something because there's just gonna be no grip. It's so wet.
I'm just not sure if where he's at we're gonna be able to stay green or not. We'll keep an eye on it.
Hats off to the crew here. They got Rafa cleaned up and off track, and we're back to racing here real quick. You know, there's 46 laps left to go. Looks like Rafa's hitting back out on track, so
yeah.
Whatever they had as an issue, got it sorted and got him back out there in the mix to get as many points as you can. You never know where this is going to go. It looks like everything's cleared out of Big Ben there, out of
Rafa letting everybody go by. Oh, and problems now for the 16.
Jim Gallagher there.
Yeah.
Little off-course excursion. I think he's had a kind of a rough weekend. I saw one of the sessions with him ended up in the tire wall over there at West Bend. So, you know, this just adding a little bit of insult to injury, if you will, to that 16 group.
Meanwhile, the front four just keep charging. Annunziata, Skeen, Vostovsky, and DaCosta with Harmon rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, this is a great battle. Again, it looks like...
Borisset Jr. Big damage to the number 60 HendrickCars.com machine as he went bounding through offline, and lots of stuff scraping on the bottom, showering sparks behind him. Caution is out now as they still have to deal with the 16 at Gallagher, the same spot, and Boris Jr. going to try to limp it around.
Yeah, that just shows how critical it is not to drop the wheels off the downhill. I will say that's where you're back to your original with Road Atlanta. That's where Road Atlanta's a little bit more forgiving. Is if you drop a wheel, it's not going to rip the front end of the car off like that.
And if I'm not mistaken, I saw Rafa Matos' car sitting off to the right again.
Yeah.
So whatever they thought they fixed apparently was just a temporary.
Sounds to me like a loose wire or something that just keeps on cutting that in and out intermittent. And you know, he got back to the pits. They probably looked at plug wires, shook a few things, and then he fired it up and it fired back up. You get back out there in the environment, and you know, we had a similar thing in the TA car from ignition issues from Sebring, followed us to Road Atlanta, and it could be very frustrating, but it'll only happen at a certain time. You know, you run the thing on a dyno and it wouldn't do anything. You get out there in the environment, in the racing environment that's very violent, and then all of a sudden we'd have the issues. So, so curious to see what happens here.
So here's Sed getting off course, and you can see the hits he took going through there.
That's actually Merrill earlier in the race.
That's earlier.
You know, he didn't get airborne. It tried to take, and this is the Caleb Bacon getting in there a little bit too deep to the 27 and the 51 of Will Robinson and Barry Bowes. That was a restart, and then on the next downhill.
C8 going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see he just got off on that grass, and
there's no hope then.
Yeah.
And then a little bit
the 37 went around as well. We didn't see that
about action.
before.
98 of Doug Winston over there as well. See if he's got his QR code. Yep, you can scan that guy. Well, you can't scan that one because it's all beat up, but I got Pro Chuck in here for a tire change. Is it raining out there? It is raining out there.
Yep,
we have rain.
Sure is. And they're going to go for wets.
This could be a real smart move. And again, this depends on what's going on in the radar, trusting your team to be looking at that radar. And then as rough as a race as Mike Cope Racing has had, I'm excited about this change and seeing what happens.
Ben, what's going on in pit lane?
Should be going about his speed, but Keith Prochek and Mike Cope, they're seeing something with this rain. They get a huge gamble, but he's going out on the lead lap. So the Cope team should be giving each other high fives here as another car comes in. Looks like Will Robinson, who had the trouble, the heartbreaking part of motorsports. Adam, and you can speak to this, you can do everything right and still find your place in the wrong place at the wrong time like Will Robinson did. Back up to you guys in the booth as they put wets onto Will's car.
This could honestly save Will Robinson's race from that earlier contact that was not his fault. So My Cope Racing going to put do professional pit stops here, get them back out on the lead lap, just like they did with Keith Prochuk. So critical there. So now Keith will restart this race in the wet, on a wet track, behind everyone on slick tires, and he'll take the green. So Keith will be smart. That's what I'd be preaching him in the radios, to be smart, don't get too excited, be an opportunistic feeder, just keep clicking them off, because they're going to come to him. You just can't get around here on slick tires on this wet racetrack. It ain't going to happen here at Lime Rock Park. So that'll be super exciting for all of us to watch transpire.
Well, from the radar on my phone, it's just showing spotting showers all the way back. So we have one right now, and probably see more blue sky, and we'll probably see a few more before this race is over.
Well, this is going to get real interesting on the restart, right? I just mentioned all these slick tires out here, and this is going to be tricky. I mean, Lime Rock is tricky in the best of conditions, and now you add this to the mix, and you add the fact that you're on dry weather tires. Yikes.
Yeah. Going into West Bend is going to be
It's
really
tricky.
a gut check.
Yeah, no, it's a total gut check, and everything here. I mean, the uphill, you know, because even though you're going 5 to 8 seconds a lap slower, you still get light on the uphill.
And it looks to me like Adrian does not have a windshield wiper.
No, and that's not super critical. As you get up to speed, the air will take that off. Right around here on yellow, he's probably a little annoyed by it, but not a super critical thing with the windshield wiper. The more critical is your defrost.
Yes.
You got to have a defrost, because under caution, that's when the heat soak happens, and that's when water gets up on the headers and could just cause like a steam bath up under the windshield. So
that was the big challenge yesterday. Everybody was scrambling in the paddock trying to figure out how they were going to get defrosters to work. The creativity is off the charts with that.
Oh, I've seen teams in the past bring 3D printed parts, you know, and hook fans up to them, and heating elements and the whole bit. And everyone's got a different solution. I've seen the defrost wires running across the windshield. Depends on the driver on if they'll accept that. But this is a downpour.
It's coming down now, isn't it?
This is not slick tire weather.
No.
This is a tough call though, because what do you do if?
I'll tell you what we do. We take a break.
Let them
figure out what they're going to do with tires. Our producer says we're going to figure out what to do with some commercials. We'll be right back on Speed Sport 1. Stay with us from a now rainy Lime Rock.
up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Well, the drama just got more interesting on pit road because Thomas Annunziata came in and took wet weather tires. But Adam, the other guys right behind him, Sheheen and Adrian Vostovsky, they stayed out on the slicks.
Yeah, no, and a majority of the field came in the pits behind him or in front of him. So, yeah, you have Eric Clayton up there now in P3, Cale Phillips leading Pro-Am in P4, Doug Winston P2 in Pro-Am, in overall P5, and then you get back into the national drivers with Noah Harmon, Sam Corey, John Buffamante, Caleb Bacon, and Ethan Thornborough rounding out your top 10. So a pretty big shakeup here, and I believe we got a couple of sitting ducks up front here. I'm going to get a look at who came in and who did pits and who got tires, but I'm believing it's everyone from Doug Winston on back got tires. So I'm going to go and say Noah Harmon is the first one maybe on rain tires. Oh no, there's Noah right there coming in for his rain tires. So I stand corrected.
Yeah, knowing the Street Side Classic entry.
Yeah, we're trying our best, folks at home, to sort this out through our timing and scoring and everything that's going on. So, but I would say that one of your first cars on, yep, and it is right behind Doug Winston, the 51 car, Will Robinson. We know that he made the switch to wet weather tires. So we're going to put Will Robinson as the front runner with wet tires to keep an eye on right here. And for the moment, don't pay attention to the board. Oh, the board on the left is up to par here. Unless, the 51 I think went a lap down. So
well, it might change dramatically by the time we get to West Bend once we go to green.
Right. Right. I'm trying to sort all this out.
Yeah.
And I think it's not worth sorting out right now. Got a couple more. Barry Bowes looks like he came in, but
it's going to be just about everybody but Sheheen and Vostovsky, I think.
And I tell you what, if they keep under caution here, I mean, the sun's looking like it wants to come back out, and we saw how quick this racetrack dried off. But this will be interesting. This really got interesting to the fans at home and for us up here in the booth for sure.
Well, it is raining pretty good right now.
Yeah, it is. No, but
and there are patches of blue, like we said earlier, on the other side of the highway across the street from where we're sitting right here. So you can't see it there. But further over to the left, there's some blue sky out there.
All right, so starting with Noah Harmon is when they're a lap down according to our timing and scoring here. So at 11th, only 10 cars on the lead lap. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you Thomas Annunziata, Tristan McKee, one of those two might be the front runner on wet tires. So keep your eye out on that. And now
pushing DeCosta off here, get him going.
And also now, anytime you're at a pit stop, 5 lug nuts, hoping they all got torqued properly and all of them got put on too, because that's another element of this that happens when you're in the rush. So
let's go back to Ben.
So yeah, dead in the water. Julian was just dead in the water at the exit of pit road there. So not too sure what happened or what stalled him. Fired it right back up.
Sounds like it started now.
Another shot. Oh, might be clutch. But anyway, not getting that 30 car restarted looks like anytime soon. But wow, what a shakeup out there! And I mean, for a couple of drivers, this is the closest they've ever been to a pace car, you know, under any conditions. So you got Eric Caton and Doug Winston, your Pro-Am guys that are up front there. Actually, Eric is a national guy. So both up front, so it's exciting for them. Again, be smart, and when this race gets restarted, that's going to be the key on them slick tires. But look at the open sky there, Ralph. Like,
yeah.
This is really tough stuff to call.
There's that blue sky we were talking about. It is out there, but then we see more spottiness coming our way on the radar. So you just don't know, is it going to get here before it gets too dry? And maybe those wet weather tires will continue to be the right call.
Right.
Because we've got 45 minutes roughly left in this one.
Yeah, and it's not like MotoGP where they can just come jump on a different bike, you know, and go out flag to flag. This is you coming in, you're relying on that team to get 4 tires changed quickly. And this is the fast lap around this place. Even under caution, it's a 2-minute lap. So, and these are not NASCAR equipped teams as far as pit stops go. This is sprint racing. This is 100-mile racing. Lights are off on the pace car. This is going to get fun, Ralph Sheheen.
Keep your eyes on West Bend at the far end of the San Posey Straight. Down there at our Cube 3 Architecture Big Bend area. McLaren pace car headed to pit lane. Here comes Mike Skeen with Adrian Vostovsky and Caton and Winston and Corey all behind him.
And they're going green with no rain falling and sunshine coming onto the racetrack.
Can they get through the first few corners to take advantage of it? Green flag is waving.
Saw the wheel spin out of the 3 car of Lostowski as they came across the start-finish line, but really good
their way
control
through
by
the
everybody.
corner. And here comes Annunziata in the 90 trying to be aggressive back there with those wet weather tires.
Trying to make
on the
up those
outside.
spots and trying to get to the front here. But like you said, they got to stay clean. I'm impressed with the pace of these two. Up front with Mike Skeen, Adrian Vlastowski doing the eggshell dance on the gas and the brake pedal and doing a great job.
Yeah, very impressive. It is not easy.
No, especially here. I mean,
Oh, there goes one.
Oh, we got a wreck back here in the back straight away. Yeah, we got the 0-0.
Robinson.
That's Jared Aldrich, and they got the 51 of Will Robinson. That's going to bring out a full course caution.
Look at that miss.
That is only playing into the hands of Mike Skeen and Adrian Vlastowski.
Yeah, because that slows everything down, gives that sun a chance to get over here and try things out a little bit.
That's exactly right. And we saw how quick this track dried out, you know, and that's a big wreck. So
well,
I'm
we're
going to see
still
a
green
full
for
course
now,
caution.
but I got a feeling that's going to
I would
end
imagine
here real
so.
quick.
Like it's time to call this full course before they get to Paul Newman Straight, because I don't want to see cars at speed going towards that. There we go. There's our full course caution.
Yep.
Right as the 70 was getting a run around the 2 car.
That's Corey.
Yeah, but I think these positions are going to be given back or try.
Yeah.
Oh, that might have been trying to get them back on the lead lap. That might have been Mike helping some teammates get back on the lead lap there, I think is what I witnessed there.
There's a tore up race car of Robinson.
Because certainly Connor Mosak is in that M1 chassis family, and along with Mike Skeen. So I'm guessing that's what went on there. They backed up. It was a quick radio call by Scott Lagasse Jr., sharp man, trying to make sure they get Connor back on that lead lap. But this place is going to dry out with no rain and sunshine and hot race cars going slow. Yeah,
That would be your bet, huh?
that'd be my bet. That things are going to work out quite handsomely for Mike Skeen and Adrian Vlastowski.
All right, we'll see if you're right. If you're right, you're driving everybody to Foxwoods.
Okay, you got it. Well, I know Adrian's got a fresh $500
play some bets for tomorrow.
Yeah, Adrian's got a fresh $500. We'll invite him.
That's right. That's right. He does. Well, they're.
So you're sitting here. It looked like Sam Corey. It was a pass for the lead. Annunziata already up into P4 on the wet weather tires. But their enjoyment is going to be short-lived if this sun lasts for the remaining 34 laps, because those rain tires just won't survive.
All right, let's go down trackside to Ben.
Yeah, I'm down here in the Compass Manufacturing International pits with Fast Auto, who have 5 or 6 cars here total this weekend, and there's no worse place to have to change tires and stay on the lead lap in our season than Lime Rock Park. You can see Billy is trying to work through the body work here to try to get the jack stand in there. So the only way these cars can be jacked up is with that, and he can't access it because the body is damaged a little bit. So they're trying to get the jack under there, but these cars are too low for that. So you can see he's trying to force it in just to try to get the jack under there to try to go to wets. Now, Adrian Lostowski did not go to wets. Currently, I believe, in 3rd behind Sam Corey, who is on wets. And I agree with Adam Andretti that this might dry out under these cautions, and that might play really well for the people on slicks. But you never know here at Lime Rock Park because it just started raining again. I'm going to send it back up to you, gentlemen, because it's getting really loud and heated down here.
Yeah, I see that rain's coming again here. I don't know, Adam. We'll see.
Hey, don't trust me. Remember, I was the guy 2 years ago or 3 years ago that, went to the slick tires too early on a rain-soaked track. And
look at that.
So this is back to being rains are the way to go. So it'll be interesting. I mean, it did take long. It took 1 lap for the drivers on wet weather tires to show that speed and be up at the front. So I kind of anticipate more of that.
I'm gonna walk down here real quick.
But we are staring down 33 laps to go here, so we have passed the halfway mark of this Q3 Architecture TA2 race at Lime Rock Park.
Well, it's the beginning of the huge Memorial Day racing weekend. Best racing weekend of the year. Best weekend of the year, period, if you ask me.
There's racing at every corner, no matter what you love. If you love motorsports, you're going to be entertained this weekend. There's the obvious ones, the ones that we're staring at here this weekend with the Memorial Day Classic. The Indianapolis 500, of course, being held tomorrow. The Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow night. MotoGP is in Silverstone.
Motocross is out in Paula.
Taking
the outdoor season off.
The outdoor season started with motocross today. So when it comes down to motorsports, if you're a fan of this amazing sport like I am and on all aspects, you've got more than enough to keep your palate, satisfied.
We'll be a big part of it right here on Speed Sport 1. Don't forget, we'll have the Trans Am Series by Pirelli live from here at Lime Rock Park on Monday, not Sunday, Monday. No racing here on a Sunday at Lime Rock Park. Commercial breaks, however, we do have those. Give you one of those right now, then we'll be right back for the green.
Yes. Hon, the weather tech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance Brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Well, there's blue sky and there's rain clouds. And that's pretty much been the story for the 2025 Trans Am presented by Pirelli season for every category, including our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 cars. Outside of Sebring, we have had cold temperatures and wet weather basically everywhere else we've been.
Yes, we have, Ralph. It's been. I said this is going to be our season, isn't it? We're going to get to, or I think you said it, or we're going to get to Mid Ohio and just be in a skiing bath here in about another month. So,
yeah.
But no, it's been a crazy year as far as the way the weather falls, because we went to Sonoma. Weather was not favorable. You got into the week and it was beautiful, and then the weekend came in Laguna and the weather fell again. And then I know from experience, we were in Laguna a couple days after still, and the weather turned and got beautiful again.
Yep.
So, and that's what happens here up in the Northeast this week. If you look at next weekend,
it's gorgeous.
In the high 70s, sunny, beautiful.
Well, Monday's looking pretty good for Trans Am presented by Pirelli, so that's
Monday
good
does
news.
look good for us.
Yeah. Ben, how's it looking for you?
Coming to green. Well, I'm down here with Compass Manufacturing International. I don't want to talk to any of the crew right now because they're about to come to green. As the cars came by, I only saw 3 cars on slicks. 2 of them are with this team, Eric Caton and Adrian Lostovsky. Adrian doing really well, and if it dries, he should be able to hang in there. But also our former champion, Mike Skeen, is out there on slicks, and both of them are at the front end. So we're going to see a lot of maneuvering here when they come into Cube 3, Turn 1 here at Lime Rock Park. About to take the green. Gentlemen, back up to you.
Sam Corey, the race leader in the Black 70, is on rain tires. Skeen and Vostovsky on slicks, and then Annunziata back there in 4th, and Harmon and so forth on back. You start getting back into the rain tires. So here we go, watching for the green. You ready for the restart?
And you could certainly play the long game with this sun coming
Here
out.
we go. Up through the gearbox.
See how the rain tires accelerate, and you're going to watch Adrian kind of make easy work of these front 2. Mike Skeen and Adrian Vlastowski aren't going to put up much of a fight. They're going to let all this happen and just keep praying and praying and praying that these skies stay closed, the sun stays out, and this race will come right back to them one by one.
Annunziata and Harmon made quick work of Skeen and Vostovsky as they got down into Big Bend, and it looks like McKee is about to do the same before they get to the uphill.
And what you'll have to worry about being on slicks is those that are not on slicks losing their patience. So that's where you just don't put up the fight. You give plenty of room like Adrian was there to Gian Buffamante, and you let the fight happen ahead of you. But back to Gian Buffamante, shout out to him, the confidence that he's riding. He's well inside the top 10 on his wet weather tires and getting ready to take advantage and get around Mike Skeen. So we'll see where they fall in and where this kind of rewrites our running order here as they come across the line.
You saw McKee get around Skeen as well. That was for 4th. Oh, and
no.
around goes Skeen.
And that was Gian Buffamante. I don't. That was not intentional. I think Skeen was coming down, not realizing that Gian was there. Honestly, that's what that looked like to me. Very light contact, but doesn't take much when you're on slick tires and on wet pavement around here at Lime Rock Park. So this is getting very interesting again because the skies are closed and the sun is shining.
Well, and as you said earlier, this racetrack doesn't tend to puddle up much. So if you're on the wet weather tires and you need to hunt out some moisture, it's going to get hard to find here shortly.
That's exactly right, because as we saw, this place dried really quick too. Our last practice session was only a 35-minute session, and the last practice session, it started off in rain, and by the end of that session, the whole track was dry. So it does not take long here at Lime Rock Park. They do a really good job with drainage, as you said, no puddles or rivers that come flowing through, on the downhill. You got a good race here between these three cars on wet weather tires, between Sam Corey, Thomas Annunziata, and Noah Harmon.
There's Corey, the Stillo sponsorship on the front. Annunziata, Harmon right there.
Boy, Harmon threw it in there at West Bend, didn't he? He
Sure
backed
did.
her in there like it was Eldora. That was some pretty special
Just
driving
back
by
it
the
in there,
youngster.
yeah. Down the Sam Posey straightaway. You see Annunziata moving over.
Annunziata's already searching for, we call it the spray run, right, where you can go throw some spray. He's noticed that there's not much spray being thrown on the racing line. He's going to try and save those tires. I'm sure the team is on top of the radar, saw what you saw, that we're looking pretty spotty, and rain could come again. Seems to have settled out here, and it's given us a pretty good idea of where things are going to kind of lay out. Adrian Vlaskowski there on the dry weather tires, keeping it solid in P8. Like I said, he's lost 27 seconds to the leader, and I know that's half a lap, but that stuff can come back to you real quick if this pavement starts to dry.
Armco Gears total laps led right now. Sam Corey, 8 circuits around Lime Rock Park at the front of the field, this 1.5 miles.
Look at him searching for the water already. I mean, it's not your best sign when you're having to look for standing water already at this point. You can see there's almost no spray online.
See some of the guys using the windshield wipers and some of them not.
Sometimes you just forget. You just forget that it's on.
Yeah.
And you don't need it. And then until it starts laying rubber on the windshield, you're like, oh shit, I forgot the windshield wiper. So yeah, it's still enough spray that some of those cars need them. Again, it's not necessary. You get enough speed that it rushes the water off the windshield for the most part.
Oh boy.
That was a good run.
Get a little nervous there for Gio Ruggiero as he comes up over the rise at the uphill.
Yeah, you get the crowd up there on the uphill, and the crowd will sit there and they'll vote for who had the longest wheelie and who gave him the most exciting moment up there on the uphill. And it looked like Ruggiero was giving them a run for their money up there.
Yeah, make sure you sign up for all of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli and the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series social media pages today, because starting tonight, Monday night, they're going to be flooded with some amazing action shots. You guys coming over the uphill airborne.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff. It's always like a hero shot here of the uphill. And I know back in the prototype days, it got made world famous with the blowovers. That
John Morton in the
Yeah,
Nissan, yeah.
That's right.
88.
Why they have a chicane there. But I love running the classic course here. I've run both with the chicane and the classic course, and to me nothing beats this classic course because of that uphill. It gives you a big moment of commitment. It opens up another possibility for passing into West Bend if someone makes a mistake on that uphill, and you really got a good run on it. So the good news is Mike Skeen back to the racing at hand, and looking at Doug Winston, I believe he might be our Pro-Am. No, he was our Pro-Am leader. Now our Pro-Am leader is Keith Prochuk in P7, and then Cale Phillips in P9 overall would be second in that Pro-Am shot up there. And then you got Barry Bowes making a nice recovery from when he got turned around earlier in P3 in that PA. And then you're looking at the Make-A-Wish car of Bob Accardo there. Wonderful man and does a great thing for these kids. And and is out here just really enjoying racing in this Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. It's been an absolute pleasure having his addition to the paddock for sure.
There's a good look at Doug Winston's cars you were talking about. He's got that new sponsorship on there. This is his home track. They replaced the question mark with a QR code. He's partnering up with Milwaukee Tool on a new nonprofit entity designed to provide mentoring and resources to young adults who are interested in a career in the skilled trades. Great to see that. He's also got about 100 guests here this weekend, so we welcome them all to Lime Rock Park. Good to see Doug with a new and creative sponsor, right? Not just a sponsor, something that's creative, doing some unique stuff.
Right, exactly. That's the stuff you love seeing, and he is a huge champion for the skilled trades, like I was just mentioning earlier in the broadcast. And I didn't mention Doug Winston because I knew the opportunity would come up later about what he's doing with this program. And but yeah, he's a huge advocate for it. He's a skilled tradesman himself. And it was that direction, that path that he was given at the right age, that he knows made all the difference in his life and the way he gets to enjoy his life now and behind the wheel of this beautiful Cube 3 Architecture TA2 car. So he's one of those spreading the wealth of knowledge to encourage that next generation, because we're going to need you. We're going to need you in those skilled trades, and you're going to make the money to reflect that.
He's 5th in the Pro-Am category right now, running 17th overall. There you see Prochuk, who is the race leader in Pro-Am in the HP Tuners car, the blue with the white.
He was one of the first to say, I'm going on wet weather tires. And now we're starting to see some of this pavement from the aerial shot starting to dry out. And we're watching, like I said, Adrian Vlaskowski has lost that lap. But as I mentioned, those things will come back to you quick, fast, and in a hurry. Oh no, maybe he hasn't lost the lap. No, I apologize. He hasn't lost the lap. But yeah, he's getting close. The leaders are catching him.
Odrick here is actually in 16th as Prochuk trying to work his way through and by, who is the leader in that Pro-Am category. That's a look at the left-hander and the right-hander.
Without that splash that they got right then, that recent splash, this place would have already been dry.
See Rafa Matos. Let's see where Rafa is on.
He's like 8 laps down. He had that problem that
put
him
the board.
Quite a few laps down. So he's back there running P23 right now, just trying to pick up some pieces of those. And Adrian just went a lap down. I just saw the leader of Annunziata in front of Adrian there, and Annunziata got the lead from Sam Corey at some point. We missed that along the way. So Annunziata back at the point where he started this race, where he started his dominance of this race. But you can see on the downhill, we're already dried up the pavement there on the downhill. So you might start to see Adrian over the next few laps start to claw these two back to get his lead lap back. We are 20 laps to go. You're looking at the lap times are in the 1 minute range. So you're looking at about 20 minutes left of this race. So we're still within hitting the time cap.
Well, and according to the weatherman, 20 minutes could change a lot around here.
Could change it dramatically here, especially, 20 laps to go is still a lot of circulations to get around this track, a lot of opportunities to make mistakes. Annunziata using up some of the curb there at West Bend. Not my choice. I tend to stay off, but it's a pretty aggressive curb, but he might have found something that helps turn the car there underneath these conditions.
There's Prochuk finally getting through some of that traffic.
Yeah, he's working his way a little like around, I want to say that was Eric. Yeah, Eric Hayton. He's another one on slick tires, so just trying to work their way around that driver. Again, anyone out there doing this on slicks, I tip the hat to you. This is not easy work, and you're watching all these drivers that stayed on slicks, not only fighting and keeping themselves in the hunt, but keeping it on racetrack. Just that alone is pretty impressive.
Well, taking a look at my very untrustworthy radar on my phone, the spottiness moving southeast from the northwest, and we would have another cell should be creeping overhead here based on my guess reading the weather. And I've never been a weatherman, not a meteorologist, but I have played a pit reporter calling weather, so I've had a lot of experience with it that way. I tell you, it's probably just a couple minutes out. We'll see if it actually shows up.
And it could happen. I mean, it's already gotten dark. You know, the sunlight's gotten away, and his windshield wipers flipped upside down. See, that shows how much it matters.
Yeah.
That, you know, the windshield wiper can be flipped upside down, and he still hasn't turned on because he probably hasn't even noticed that it's done that. You get so focused, and you're so just in the moment and making sure that you keep that thing on track, and you're worried about your competitors, right? He's asking where Sam is at. And I noticed he stayed off the inside curve there on West Bend that time.
Yeah. Well, and with that 500-plus horsepower engine screaming under the hood, he's not hearing that.
Exactly right.
That the windshield wiper's
you can't hear the scratches across the windshield he's getting. It's going to cut a hole in the windshield if he's not careful. But no, it's, again, I saw the downhills getting really dry. And what happens for those at home, when you're on these wet weather tires in the dry, they're tread blocks, right? And you'll feel those tread blocks rolling around. And it almost feels like even when the pavement's dry, that it's wet, because the car's moving around so much. And you can actually watch it as they're coming up the uphill here, and everywhere they're around the track, you'll see the car just doing a little bit more movement than usual, and it's because they're just rolling on those blocks across this dry pavement. So, you know, I'm actually kind of shocked that they're staying on the dry throughout there. You know, watching their way, getting through this lap traffic is the leader of Thomas Annunziata.
Thomas trying to pick his way through as quick as he can, put as much gap as he can between him and Corey, but Sam's doing a great job of following right through with him and staying right in step with him. They got Sheheen just in front of him.
Yeah, this is a really good come-out race for Sam Corey. You know, he's been up front in the mixed conditions. He was up front in the dry, and then it went wet. They made the right decisions, got him out there on the wet weather tires, and he's made really good work of this. He drove right to the front, got the lead right before that caution. But look at that. That's a dry line coming down the Paul Newman Straight.
It's a very dry
And I'm not
line.
watching people going searching like they were earlier for that wet pavement. So
you can see it all the way through West Bend.
You're going to start to see an Adrian Vlastowski and a Mike Skeen start to come alive right the way that this is right here.
Well, the big question is, do they have enough time?
Yeah, that is the big question. You know, I mean, we're staring down at 15 laps to go now that Thomas crossed the line. You know, that would be hard pressed. It would have to dry out quite a bit, but it can be done. It can be done. You could also get that lead lap back and catch a lucky caution. So that's why we race. We never know what's going to happen until that checkered flag falls. But right now, it's in Thomas Annunziata's hands to just bring this thing home and get these last 14 and a half laps done.
And he has led the majority of laps here today, in the dry, in the wet, back in the dry again.
Yeah, he's driving a great race. I think he was his own worst critic after Laguna, because he took risk and did get a good finish at Laguna because of that. So he's back into his championship mode, driving smart. I saw that out of him when he had wet tires on coming back to the field. He was only taking the necessary chances. So it's good to see Thomas back in that mindset of going after this championship. And
winner of the first two races this year, taking the checkers and standing on the top step of the podium, season opener at Sebring, and in round 2 at Road Atlanta. Looking to get back to that top step of the podium here in round 5. And Pro Chuck right there in the HP Tuners number 9, the blue and white car, leading in the Pro-Am category, running 7th overall behind Bufamonte and just in front of Phillips.
Yeah, and I'm getting some information from Scott Conway and you know, statistician for us, and giving us some great information here. And if it finishes like this with Annunziata leading the laps and doing all that, he'll walk away with the points lead after this race again.
Okay, Gambler, I got one for you. Skeen in 11th and Vostovsky in 12th are both on slicks, and they both just ran the quickest lap so far.
Yeah, is it going to be enough? If they could click off 4 or 5 seconds a lap, now you're talking. You know, if they slow down, if Annunziata slows down,
Don't you think they're going to need a caution though?
They will. They'll definitely will, but they'll need that caution to come after they've got that lap back. You know, and here we're looking. There's Adrian right there that just went out of your screen. But yeah, and there's rain falling again, as I saw from that camera angle. So your guess is as good as mine. I think you made the right call when you said rain was coming again. But it's coming right as soon as Skeen and Vlastowski are like, are you kidding me? We finally got the laps to turn in our favor as far as speed, and now it's going to go the other direction. But yeah, you would need, I mean, we're looking at 13 laps left. You would need like 5 seconds a lap on them to get that lap back, and then you need a caution, and then you need the turnaround to be quick. So
well, I think things are going to get aggressive here towards the end, so the caution might not be out of play.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true.
But there's that rain spitting again.
I know.
But just spitting like that is not going to be enough to really soak the track.
Yeah, you won't.
So that's
lose
still an advantage for the slicks.
No, you won't lose the racetrack with it like that. You need a steady, hard rainfall, especially when they're spread out the way they're spread out. Hot race cars, hot tire. But look at Skeen.
Yeah, he's trying to slice his way through.
Yeah, he's getting racy again.
Coming after Harmon. Harmon's in that 7, the blue and silver Hair Racing Streetside Classics backed entry.
And it again goes to show how hard it is here to pass, because you have Skeen here much faster, and he just can't get that run. But they're coming. They're coming. There's Mike. There's Adrian close in right there in the shot. Noah Harmon still backing her in the corner like we're dirt tracking it. Love it. But yeah, this is
McKee trying to
make up some of that
Skeen
time
behind him.
Yeah, he's getting racy, and the lap times are showing it, right? Like you're looking at Mike Skeen, he's running in the 58s consistently. Annunziata's still in the 58s on those wet weather tires, but Sam Corey with this traffic sucked right up onto the tail of the leader of a Thomas Annunziata.
There's Annunziata right there, getting around Odrick.
Yep, Odrick did a great job of getting out of the way there. It's been a rough race for him.
And Corey's got his hook on the back bumper of Annunziata now for sure. Those two are hooked together and running up front, but keeping an eye on that rear view mirror, because they know as this track dries out, there's a chance that Skeen and Vostovsky will show up and give them a battle to the checkers.
And Annunziata had a little slip up there on the downhill, so I'm wondering if his tire is a little worse for wear than what Sam has with his rain tires. So you'll see at the end of this race, these leaders on this dry weather like this, they're going to come in with almost slicks. So if the rain comes back and they've beat up that tire too much and took too much of that tread block away I was talking about,
yep,
they're not going to be having the advantage that they had before.
And there's Pro Chuck behind them, holding down 7th overall, first in class of Pro-Am. Phillips and Bose round out that podium right now.
Yeah, you got Tristan McKee there. A shout out to him. Got himself
Odrick
in a P3.
doing everything he could to maybe help get that caution going.
Yeah, Jared looked like he drove off there. I wonder, he was doing such a good job staying out of the way of faster traffic, so I'm wondering if that was just another one of those, because he drove off track up at West Bend trying to stay out of the way of the faster cars coming up behind him. So I'm wondering if he just maybe did too much of one of those Pirelli P0s out on the grass. And these two right here are going to be down to the wire. We're looking at 9 to go. So they're looking at like 8.5 laps to go between these two. And this, oh, look right here. Is he going to look up the
Sam
uphill?
Corey got up on the curbing.
That's a brave move, but that also probably cost Sam. Look, it cost him 2.5 seconds right there to the leader of Thomas Annunziata. So that's not exactly where you would take the attack. I would have coached him to kind of back off, get that run up the uphill, and maybe take the dive bomb into West Bend.
And don't forget, these guys are under the same tent, both running Nitro Motorsports Toyotas.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, Nitro Motorsports has pretty well dominated this Lime Rock Park circuit over the last few seasons. This has been their racetrack, and so it's not a surprise that we're seeing them up front again. What the surprise is, they did it this time, not with easy conditions. They had to make the right decisions. They had to trust their drivers. They had to trust their own calls that they were making in the pits. So my hat's off to the Nitro group as well, and you know, bouncing back after kind of an up and down West Coast run and having a really good spot here.
Corey is really putting the pressure on Thomas. He has reeled him right back in. That Stillo-back car is ready to make a challenge for the lead here as we get to inside of 12 minutes to go. And you can see Annunziata really sliding coming down out of the downhill.
That was a big mistake by Thomas there. This is going to give him a big run. And we got the rain
It is
back.
definitely raining out now.
We get the rain back. And now who's got the most tread on their tire?
Right.
Between these two. Because let's face it, the race is between these two. The rest of the field isn't even within a sniff of coming to between these two. So as long as these two keep it clean, there's going to be a Nitro car coming to victory lane. They got to keep it clean.
Kazu Racing supported Toyota of Thomas Annunziata. Oh, and here comes Sam looking again inside just before they hit the uphill.
Again, I would advise to use that run he's getting, use that momentum, and use it here in West Bend, because I think he can get up the uphill better than Annunziata. He keeps on costing him time when he drives over that curb. It's not a friendly curb there on the uphill. And
boy, look at Annunziata slide coming through the downhill.
Yeah, he's going to have another good run coming in here into the Cube 3 Big Bend. But Thomas, very defensive.
Looking outside. Corey's not there.
Make him go around the hard way. Again,
look at Corey right behind him here, Adam. He is right on his tail.
He crushes him here through Summit Racing 3 and 4. He's got the speed. He wants to get right alongside there.
Cuts back inside here.
And he's going to get a run this time.
Yeah, he's got a good run this time.
And Thomas shuts the door. Again, get your run up the uphill.
Maybe that's
the run
what
up the uphill, and
maybe that's what Sam needed, was the door to get shut a little bit easier, quicker. Now he might have a shot here at West Bend. Here he comes. Oh, I thought for sure he had him.
I thought so too. I tell you, I think he learned where he needs to set him up, though. I think he's taken notes. That young driver back there, Sam, Corey, taking those notes. Annunziata just driving the wheels off of that number 90 Toyota Camry. I mean, just every time he comes down West Bend, it's a show. A man after my own heart there. I love that kind of car control. I love that kind of confidence. And that's what we expect out of a Thomas Annunziata. But right here, from Cube 3 Big Bend all the way through Summit Racing 3 and 4, Sam Corey's got his number.
Yep. Well, they were both praying for this rain to keep those wet weather tires good. And they got what they were looking for, but now it's a matter of who's got how much left. And Corey's going to have not a whole lot of time, maybe about 8 laps left.
Yeah, we're looking at 5 laps to go.
5
so
laps.
They're almost going to be coming to 4 laps to go here. And
so he's going to need another lap or so to close the door, and
That's
then
right.
he's going to need another lap to make a shot at him.
That's right.
So it might be that white flag lap where he takes one final
I think
run
that's
at
what
him.
he's chomping the bit at, or use this traffic to your advantage that's coming up. You know, I think he's also thinking that game as well. If you can catch him, you know, like I said, one of the toughest places to pass is here at Lime Rock Park. So, and if you're impatient with traffic, that could be to your own demise. So this is going to be, and they're in their own race. You have Doug Winston is in his own race there, it looks like, with Jared Aldrich. So
Sam can't waste any time with this traffic. If Thomas gets through, Sam's got to get through at the same time.
He's got to go at the same time, absolutely. And then Thomas, if he gets held up by the traffic at any point, that's just going to open the door.
Oh, there he is,
Sam.
right
Sam
alongside,
in,
headed to the uphill.
hard.
Oh, and he got the door shut again.
What a what a drive by both those drivers. I mean, for Annunziata to take note of that, know that he's there, keep the speed on the outside, up the uphill. You know, what great driving by both these young talents.
And I'll tell you what, we've lost the racetrack again because it is really
It's
coming
gone.
down.
Yeah. No,
so
the slick.
you need the wet weather tires just to nurse it to the finish here.
Mike,
somewhere in that spray is our battle for the lead, and it's side by side coming to West Bend.
And Mike Skeen is just like, wow, the rain again.
Yeah.
You know, just as it was coming back to him, he's up in P7. It fell on him again. But yeah, this is.
Got a
We have a
waving yellow.
local yellow. I'm hoping that's local. I would hate to end another one of these, especially as nail biting as it gets.
No, this is
with
going to be a
these
great
two.
fight to the finish. We want this one to go green to the end. The flag
And
looks
the
like
yellow
it's pulled
flag
back
looks like it's
in.
been pulled. Nope.
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 Spoke too soon.
Which that's going to take away the passing spot that Sam Corey wants to have. You know, you can't pass under yellow, and the yellow is right there before
Oh, it's
the
probably
uphill,
because
but
of
it's
the
a slow
15
car.
here.
But the 15 did a really good job. Looks like left front's locked up, so he's got a mechanical failure. But the 15 car did a great job. Nate Thornborough. Getting that thing off track so that this race can continue.
All right, back onto the Sam Posey straight, and look at Annunziata protecting the inside.
But now
As
we
we
got
head to
traffic.
West Bend. Corey was right there.
How does this traffic play out for these two competitors?
2
Because-
laps remaining. They'll see the white flag next time by.
And this goes to show you that rain is the great equalizer because you have Doug Winston and Jared Aldrich right in front of them, not letting these two dominating figures in our sport in Cube 3 Architecture TA2 do anything with them because the rain is the great equalizer of our sport. And here he is inside.
Corey diving
well
inside.
Gives a slide
Can he
job.
make it stick as they hit the uphill? He's got him as they crest over the uphill. Sam Corey has hounded Thomas Annunziata for laps and finally makes it happen as we get ready to come to the white flag. So Annunziata is going to have one shot. He was looking inside, headed to the downhill in the grass. And Annunziata can't pull it off. Can he gather it back up to make one final run? Here's the white flag in the starter's hand. We are in our final lap around the 1.5 miles here in Lime Rock.
The spray is so bad. And we talked about wipers. The 70 car lost his wiper. No wind, but that thing's gone. The 90 car, it's flipped upside down, so it's not doing anything. So it's it just goes back. The wipers are not critical, but it's a nice little convenience item to have. But yeah, this Sam Corey is showing that this was my race. I'm coming to bring this one home for Nitro Motorsports, for Toyota, for Gazoo Racing. This is exciting times for that young man.
He has done a great job chasing Thomas Annunziata, made numerous attempts to get around him, all of them very clean and respectful.
He made it happen. I mean, he shoved it in there, gave the slide job. I mean, there
One
was
corner
nothing
to
Thomas
go.
could do. And to Thomas' credit, came down the downhill and tried to attack right away. But Sam Corey bringing it to the line.
Here he comes, Sam Corey, ready to take the win in our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 race. Round number 5 goes to Sam Corey at Lime Rock Park.
What a drive. What a drive, young man. You can see the defrost lines on
Yep.
Keith Prochuk's car. That's the Mike Cope solution. Works quite well, as you can tell. But Keith Prochuk coming around, he's going to complete the victory for the Pro-Am class.
Annunziata we get credited with second. McKee gets third. Should be Harmon and Ruggiero rounding out the top 5.
Congratulations, Keith. What a drive. What an absolute drive. He's watching him come such a long way over the years. It's a great pleasure to watch him have the success he's been enjoying. Cale Phillips going to be P2 in that Pro-Am class. Barry Bowes rounding out the podium, and I do believe that would keep Barry Bowes in the championship lead for that.
And we talked about it. The fastest car is not always the winner, right? I mean, Annunziata led more laps here today than anybody else by far. Sam Corey just waited to lead the last lap and a half.
And Tristan McKee will leave here with a point lead. The young,
pretty good for 14.
That's not bad for a 14-year-old. No, and that's consistency. That's nothing. He's not flashy. He doesn't have a lot of flair. Just doing it on the back of consistency. So well done, Tristan McKee.
But great consistency as he comes across the line in third. He'll get up on the podium here today. And the podium is where we're going to be headed shortly, as Ben is on his way there.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a podium celebration. You know, this is Sam Corey's first ever victory as well. So, you know that young man will be celebrating hard. I don't believe he's old enough for the champagne. He'll get the sparkling cider, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
This might be an all sparkling cider
I think
podium,
it might be,
if I'm not mistaken. So, this is where young drivers are coming to prove their talents. Here is the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series, and this is why you're running against the best of the best. And great job, Sam Corey. You have a lot to be proud of. Congrats to Nitro Motorsports.
Sam's dad is here as well. Flew up with them from Charlotte on the other day, on Thursday.
Patriotic gloves. Love those for Memorial Day weekend. That's an excited group, and rightfully so.
There he comes. Let that celebration begin, Sam. Job well done.
Great driving. Great driving. Great racing. It's Brad Keselowski's brother that hugged him, his crew chief.
Brian. There's Dad.
There's Dad. Proud Dad. You got a lot to be proud of there. Young man drove a heck of a race.
Andy Lally, our series president.
Nick Middleton, Cube 3 Architecture.
Yeah. You get to meet everybody when you win, don't you?
The applause come from everywhere.
All right, Ben, take it away. I know we got a big happy winner down there.
Well, unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Camera, if we can get a shot, look at this. Almost zero visibility, just a couple lines to go through. First win in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series for Sam Corey. He's always been in the hunt to get on the podium, but now you're just winning in what I would call the most terrible conditions we've probably seen since 3 years ago at Lime Rock Park. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. I don't have any words right now. We had to earn that one, that's for sure. So it was tricky out here today, but the Nitro Motorsports crew gave me a hell of a ride, and I'm speechless right now. Just want to thank these boys over here. They do all the hard work at the shop. I just get to drive this bad boy.
As they come in, and if he's not already wet enough, but Sam Corey, let's try to come talk to Thomas Annunziata too, because Thomas, come here, you two together, I don't know if you touched it all, but you guys were so close. Thomas, how was it? And it seems like you guys are going to be racing against each other the rest of the season, because that was some close racing.
Oh, yeah, it was a good race. Had the pace in the dry and the wet. Team gave me a great car. Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to be possible to pass Sam at that time, and we caught him and did. And then it started to dry out, and we were building a gap, and once the rain came down, my windshield wiper flipped upside down. So I lost vision and was driving my rearview mirror from there. But, I mean, Sam drove a great race and caught me, and I did the best I could to defend, but it's all the visibility I had. So it was a good race.
Any expletives for the team when they made you come in to put on wet as the leader of the race?
I mean, I've been on that side before, and it's gone bad. So, no, we made a really good decision, and it ended up working out. Just a minor mechanical at the end that hurt us. But, yeah, really good day for the team, 1-2. I'm very proud and happy for my boy over here.
First win in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series, and would you race with Annunziata any day?
Of course. It's fun to always race against you. Your race is clean, so that's all you can ask for in a teammate. So I get with the visibility. We didn't have off too. So, but yeah, no, great race, great day, winners.
But before we send it up, look at this. Look at this. Hold on. We got to show. Look at all this real estate on a now winning car that your logo for your company could be already in with Nitro Motorsports, having the best time. We're about to go have a huge celebration, a winner's circle. I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
All right, Ben, thank you. The best salesman in the paddock right there, trying to help everybody get logos on their cars. This one got underway in nice sunny conditions. And for quite a while, it looked like Thomas Annunziata was going to be the guy to beat, but Mike Skeen is trying to play the long ball game here. Pumping and banging as they went down into Big Bend. Adrian Vostovsky hung right there with them in third. Things got a little crazy down at Big Bend as well. Bose gets spun. Robinson gets turned. Issues for others as the race went on. Problems for Gallagher. Boris said Jr. off course coming out of the downhill. Tore up his race car, ended his day. And then the rains came. That shook things up again as Skeen gets tapped and spun around at Big Bend. Annunziata had put on wet weather tires and he gets around Vostovsky. Annunziata back out front until Sam Corey finally got the little crack in the window that he was looking for and powers through in his steel-backed car with a lap and a half to go, and Sam Corey would go on to take the win. Well, there's a little bit of sunshine back out now, much to the chagrin of Mike Skeen and Adrian Vostovsky. But there was just enough rain at the tail end of this one to keep Annunziata and Corey out front and let them battle it out. And Sam just played it right, made a great, great move. That's the podium area here in Lime Rock Park. Our drone is making its way over there, as are the drivers and Ben. They get ready to celebrate a great Cube 3 Architecture TA2 race here in Lime Rock Park. Don't forget, Monday, we'll be back here live again on Speed Sport 1 for Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, round 5 of that national championship. You won't miss any of that live on Speed Sport 1. Crowd filing in to fill up the hillside. And let's go ahead and head down to Bend.
And trying to get some really good racing in long green flag runs. And they got handed the toughest conditions that they've had all year, and they came through with flying colors with a ton of green flag laps. A lot of great racing for you guys and some great performances here by our podium guys. All of them, thank you very much. Let's give them a great round of applause here. Awesome job and congratulations to these guys. Some really hard racing side by side, and the uphill for the win at Lime Rock is pretty wild. We had some pretty clear thinkers up there. I got to give them props for that. Some wild racing again. To go dry, wet again is a pretty big thing to overcome here at Lime Rock, especially with as much as these and hard as these guys fight in TA2. It's just wild. Big thank you again, obviously, to Cube 3 for sponsoring our series. Just amazing support from these guys. Pirelli, these guys here. This is a big one. This is a perfect moment to say this. When you go dry, wet like this, you are beating the heck out of the tire. For these rain tires to take that, that's a big bonus here. So huge thank you to Pirelli for providing such a good product here for us, and looking forward to welcoming our guys on the podium and spraying some champagne here.
Nice, I love it. How about that? Andy Lally. All right, Lime Rock, let's get this party started. I need some energy. I say lime, you say rock. Lime, lime. I say cube, you say 3. Cube. Cube. I say trans, you say am. Trans, 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 trans. Come on now, big round of applause. Lime Rock, I love coming here. That is too much fun. Looking for my cheat sheet. All right, All right, guys, here we go. We're going to start with the Pro-Am. Q3 Architecture TA2 Series Pro-Am, and this has been crazy, crazy race. In third place, Chattanooga, Tennessee, running the Osseo Data car. Let's hear it for Barry Bowes, last year's Pro-Am champ. Dude. Nick Middleton from New England giving out the trophies, the president, founder of Q3 Architecture. How about a round of applause for Nick Middleton? In second place, where is he? Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Cale Phillips, Pro-Am. Yeah, you're over there, sorry. There you go, there you go. How about that? First place, first driver to put on wets. Let's hear it. HP Tuners, Keith Prochek with Mike Cope Racing. Mike Cope Race Cars. Well, Nick Middleton, we threw everything at you this weekend, but, you know, you being a New Englander, you kind of knew this might happen.
Yeah, well, this is my home track, but first of all, thank you for Lime Rock fans. We couldn't do this without you. You guys are phenomenal support for the entire series. This is the best race that we have all season, and it's all thanks to you. So thank you very much, Lime Rock. And also all the drivers and all the support staff. This is a great race, and it was a phenomenal challenge for everybody, with all the crews making the decision of whether we were going to go to wets or slicks. And thanks for everybody for all the help. Appreciate it.
Nice, I love it. Well, Barry Bowes, last year's Pro-Am champion. And, man, that was just one of the craziest races. It came through and then back and then through and then back. How did you handle it out there?
It was an incredibly fun race. A little bad luck early on, got held up by a broken car, and then I got punted in turn one. But we got back on, stayed on the lead lap. Came time for a tire change, and we came in, and unfortunately we had a tool break, so I went a lap down. And then I needed to run down some guys if I was going to get on the podium. So I ended up catching back a lap to a couple of people. Cale and I have a photo finish. I mean, where our transponders are in the car might make the difference between third, second. I think he was about a nose ahead of me. That was close to a photo finish as I think we could get. And Keith Prochek is an incredible guy, incredible competitor. It's fun to see him over here at the top of the podium. I've seen him working really, really, really hard. Thank you to Osseo Data, Team SLR, and the Trans Am Series for putting this on.
Nice. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Barry Bowes. We've got Team SLR, Nitro, and Cope up here. Cale, awesome. And you know, you're kind of from this area, so this has got to feel pretty good.
That's actually my first time at Lime Rock, so this is a heck of a way to kick it off with this race. Kind of had a little bit of everything, and kind of was going back and forth there, stayed out a while, waited to go on to the wets, and was lucky to stay on the lead lap, and that kind of made the difference. So I was able to hang on there at the end. Me and Barry nose to nose coming across the line, but thanks to Nitro Motorsports, Mincy's Graphics, everybody that helps out, and go on to the next one.
Nice. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, Cale Phillips with Nitro Motorsports. And then Prochek, can you hold the two mics? Tell us about your race.
Yeah, first I'd like to say thanks for all the fans. We remember why we're here this Memorial Day weekend to honor the fallen. I'm truly honored to be up here on the top step. It was quite the race. We were the first one to put on the wets, and I got to say big thanks to the crew, because we put on 2 tires to stay ahead of the safety car and then came back in and put the other 2 on, and it allowed us to stay on the lead lap. But yeah, with being the first person to put on wets, at the end my tires were, I think they were pretty much slicks at the end, and I was just trying to hang on. But Lime Rock is always a great race for us, and it's mainly because of the fans. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love being here. You guys make it great. Really appreciate it. So thank you guys very much.
All right, guys, now hold those trophies up. Lime Rock, we need to hear how loud you can get. They're going to throw hats out to the loudest crowd. So we've got Barry Bowes, Cale Phillips, Keith Prochek. If you guys can throw your hats out, that's a long throw, though. We'll see how we go. Yeah, you might want to run up there afterwards. Yeah, yeah. We can wait, too. Here we go. Who wants a hat? Come on now. There we go. Oh, you got to throw it harder than that, guys. Come on now. Hopefully you guys are paying attention. All right, now come back. Hold up those cube threes. Come on now, Lime Rock. Let's get loud. Barry Bowes, Cale Phillips, Keith Prochek. All right, keep up that energy. Keep up that energy. Oh, here he goes. Keith is getting it. Keith gets it. Oh, almost. Nice. Now the cubes, they fly a little bit further. There we go. Oh, man, we got to practice this, Andy Lally. We got to practice hat throwing here in the Trans Am paddock. All right, Lime Rock, come on, get loud one more time. Barry Bose, Cale Phillips, Keith Prochuk here in Trans Am Pro-Am. Hold those up. Come on now, hold the trophies up. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Keep heckling us, crowd. Nice job. All right, so now we go. I think, oh, here we go. Oh, shoot. Champagne, watch out. All right, Lime Rock, get loud. Come on now. Barry Bose, Cale Phillips, Keith Prochuk. Oh, right in the eyes. Unbelievable. Nice job, guys. Chug. Oh, they want you to go all for it. I like this crowd. Keep it up. All right, in Cube 3 Architecture TA2 National. Jessica, head of PR, provisional points leader right now. In third place and provisionally our points leader now in the series. Let's hear it. 14-year-old Tristan McKee running the Gainbridge Spire Motorsports Cube 3 car with Team SLR. How about that? How cool is that? All right, in second place, also really high up in the championship, driving that beautiful Toyota Camry with Chip Boys and Gurr Toyota Racing. Let's hear it. Thomas Annunziata, Nitro Motorsports. His grandma is here, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? How about a round of applause for Granny? Okay. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Elijah from Make-A-Wish to deliver first prize, his first time on the podium. Let's hear it for Sam Corey, running with Stilo Franklin Road Apparel. How about that? How about a round of applause for Elijah here with Make-A-Wish, ladies and gentlemen. All right, jump up there, Sam. Tristan, second podium of the year, our provisional points leader. How was your race out there?
Interesting. We started out in the dry. It got wet, kind of dry. Started to dry towards the end there again, and then it got wet again. So it was an interesting race. I don't have a lot of rain experience, so it was a good new thing to learn, especially racing with all the other cars out there. So I just got to thank Hendrick Cars, Gainbridge, Spire, all the SLR guys, Jeff Dickerson, Josh Wise, Scott Speed for preparing me so well for all these races, and just everyone.
Nice. And everyone, that includes you guys up there at Lime Rock Park. So Annunziata, crazy race. You had to be in the lead and get called in by your crew to put on wets when it wasn't that bad. You came in, you put them on, you came back out on the lead lap, which is very tough to do here at Lime Rock Park, and you worked your way through to the lead. What a race, and then just a couple laps left. Teammates went at it. But, man, tell me about it out there.
Yeah, I was stressed in the car. I was hoping it was going to stay dry. I think I could have held off skiing there and won. But, you know, the rain came out, and that made it very stressful for me. I'm sure very exciting for all you guys. Yeah, team executed very well in pit road. And we got out there behind a few guys, I think Tristan and Sam. We caught them, chased them down, and had the lead for a bit. Track dried up, and I think that's when we were faster. I didn't need the rain to come back out. I had a windshield wiper issue, which it seems like some other guys had as well, and ran out of tire at the end. So when the rain came down, I lost all vision, and me and Sam had a really good battle. And no, congrats to him. He earned it, and his first win is always the best. So congrats to him. Thank you to Nitro Motorsports and Chip Boys. On to the next one.
On to the next one. A windshield wiper doesn't work really well when it's upside down. And this is easily the worst track to change 4 tires and stay on the lead lap. So nice job to Nitro. Sam, take the mic. Tell us about your race. So proud of you, man. How about a round of applause for Sam Corey?
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Whoa, here we go. I got 2 of them. Yeah, I just want to thank the Nitro Motorsports crew. I mean, these guys, Mark, Bird, PD, you guys are the best. I mean, Mark came on the radio and said, let's come down for wets, and that's what we did. We were the first one to pit, and they get a flawless pit stop and went back out there and drove down, and we're leading the race for a little bit. Thomas got back by me, and then the rain came down again, and it was a good race to the finish. So I just want to thank these guys a ton. You know, Steel Helmets, Carolina Factory, Hans Products, all these guys to help me out, Windsor Windows. Just can't thank these guys enough.
Come on now. To race like that, 18 laps, side by side, wheel to wheel. I didn't see any contact. Nice job, you guys. Come on, Lime Rock. Let's get loud. Show them the appreciation. Tristan, McKee, Thomas Annunziata, Sam Corey. First time here at the top step with us with Sam Corey, but I promise you it will not be the last. You guys like those new Toyota Camrys in TA2? It's pretty sweet looking, right? Nice, nice. They want a hat is what they're saying. They want some hats. That dude right there in the Yankees hat wants a hat. Come on now. Lime Rock, get loud. Tristan, McKee, Thomas Annunziata, Sam Corey. You want to throw those hats out, guys? Come on now. These people have been out here in the rain also. Let's see who's got the arm. Oh. There we go. Sam Corey. Oh, he's got an arm. There we go. All right, you can throw those cubes out there, too, if you want. Ooh, Sam Corey's got an arm on him. Nice. Annunziata. Oh! Come on. He plays shortstop for the Red Sox. Is that bad? Is that bad to say here? Is that bad? Okay. As a Cardinal fan, I could say that. Come on now, let's hear it. One more time. Tristan McKee, Thomas Annunziata, Sam Corey. Come on, Lime Rock Park. Stay with us. Nice. See, you guys are awesome. I love this. I wish you guys could see this from our point of view. It's amazing. Keep it up, Lime Rock. Come on now, keep it up. Loud applause. And none of these drivers are allowed to have champagne. No, the three of them combined don't equal my age. All right, let's see what they can do. Oh, they're just going to water the grass for Dickie Regal and the team here at Lime Rock Park. Come on, Lime Rock, get loud one more time. Tristan McKee, Thomas Annunziata, Sam Corey. How about a round of applause for Thomas Annunziata's grandma coming to the race, too? Come on now. She ventured through it. All right, you guys are right down the shirt. You guys are excused, but not you guys, because our omologato fastest lap, when it cleared up again, this dude put some burners down on his slicks. Let's hear it. Mike Sheheen with Guthrie's Garage in the SLR car receiving that. You guys are excused, sorry. Kim McCullough here, our Chief Marketing Officer, to present the omologato. Hold that thing up, man. Hey, that means Mike Sheheen will no longer be late to drivers' meetings. That cost him one of these races. So, Mike, how was it out there? I thought you had it. When it cleared up, you were going to work your way through, and then it started raining again.
Yeah, you know, we had a great car, obviously, thanks to Guthrie's Garage for giving us a good piece, a fast car. Tretton and Thomas there at the beginning decided to hit us around for no reason, which is kind of ridiculous. But, you know, we had a gamble to stay on the slicks. It looked like it might pay off there if it didn't rain again at the end. And we also got a little help off with the 95 earlier in the race. So it's been about 30 seconds in the wet grass trying to get back on track. But, yeah, another great fast car. Not the result we want, but we'll take a watch and go home.
Nice. How about that? We'll take a watch and go home. Lime Rock Park, thank you guys so much. We'll be racing again with Trans Am on Monday. Dickie Regal, the Lime Rock team, thank you guys so much. We will be back. If you guys want a cube, you got to get really loud. Back to you guys up in the booth.
All right, Ben, thank you. A lot of fun down there in the Victory Podium area. Again, don't forget, we will be back here Monday live on Speed Sport 1 with Trans Am presented by Pirelli. The weather is supposed to be nice and dry and sunny, so we expect a great day of racing again live on Monday. So enjoy your Sunday full of racing, and then come on back at 11:30 on Monday. That's 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and we will have all the great Trans Am action for you from right here. What a thriller for Sam Corey, his first career victory in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 category. Congratulations to him and Nitro Motorsports taking the victory. Annunziata finishing in second. Tristan right there with them in third. For Ben Sissel and Adam Andretti, I'm Ralph Sheheen. So long for now from Lime Rock. We'll see you back here on Monday on Speed Sport 1.